Right, we ain't starting. We're not starting a podcast until you subscribe. I'm seeing some various different people in the chat that haven't subbed. I think it's fucking out of order, to be honest.
It's pretty
Subscribe. Subscribe,
disgraceful.
otherwise we ain't doing a fucking
It does have
podcast.
to be this way.
We'll do it
Fold
off of
our
Twitch.
arms.
We'll do it off of Twitch. Everyone in the fucking feedback's going, don't do it on Twitch. Well, subscribe. I'm joking. Hello. How you all doing? Guess who's
Hey,
been
everybody.
drinking?
OBS has crashed once, like it did 2 weeks ago, but like it didn't do last week, and I don't know what's changed. So, as usual, obviously the podcast is the important thing. So if it crashes again, we will just leave the stream, and we'll just do the show. But I mean, yeah, fingers crossed.
Mock Turtle, when did you go and see ABBA? What night was it? I want to know.
Moving Biscuit, you can't use your Prime sub on mobile. You have to do it on desktop or buy some.
Is
Please.
that true? I'm sure I've done it on
You
mobile.
went tonight?
Doesn't it? It seems to like
No,
change.
you
with
have to go
different
through the
updates.
mobile website, not the app.
Right.
You know the thing about that. You know the thing about that ABBA show. Is that because I listened to Chatterbix and they had like a regular correspondent. I think it was like a movie correspondent or whatever. And it come out. We all found out that he is the bassist on that show. Like he actually plays bass on the ABBA show. And they were saying like, how do you get to the gig? And he said, "Oh, just get the tube." It must be so weird getting the tube with a bunch of ABBA fans thinking, "Oh yeah, you're all going to enjoy tonight, but I'm actually on stage playing the music for you all, and you've got no idea who I am. I'm just a random guy on a tube,
Just some
but
guy.
soon you will be screaming at a stage that I'm standing on." It's so bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, you can definitely do it on the Android app, Matt, because I'm looking
Yeah,
at
Android
it right now.
can, yeah.
But as
Can't do it on a fucking
iOS. Shame, innit? Shame.
yeah.
Yeah, next-
Have you got your new phone yet, Matt?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
How you finding it?
It's like an iPhone, but yeah,
A bit better.
yeah, fucking bit better. Yeah. I
But
like
you
the
suppose
dynamic
the only
island.
thing that I was surprised with was how the contrast between the lens and the sensor and the black pixels around it. I thought it was really noticeable. But other than that, I think the island does some cool shit.
Yeah, no, it's not. It is nice. I've used it. It basically is not. It's multitasking now. That's what it's used for. It's quite.
But here's the thing. Here's what I don't get. Why can't you do exactly that with a notch? You can. All the functionality, you spread it across the top of the screen. It could be done with a notch.
They wanted a way to make it part of the experience, I guess. But no, it's
fucking
good.
outrageous.
Good well done.
Out.
But yeah, it's a phone. It's an iPhone.
Thanks for the sub, Animuse Frog. Anyone else? Otherwise, we ain't doing it.
I mean, Moomin Biscuit is clearly trying, so appreciate that.
Yeah, but I don't give a shit about it if you're clearly trying. Get it done.
It's the effort that counts, Dave.
Is it?
I mean, the money is also good.
Yeah, I can't seem to do it. I think on iOS you just can't do it in the app. But yeah,
I need to call him
I
that.
wonder what that's about. I wonder why that's a thing.
because Apple would.
Apple
in the
fucking
system,
shit at
taking the
anything
30%
like
of
yeah,
They
yeah
want their cut.
exactly.
They want their
Yeah.
cut of nothing.
Yeah, Tim Apple. Should we do a podcast?
Tim Apple, baby.
We probably should do a
Mappy,
podcast. I
baby.
mean, I'm going to
Should we?
jinx it, but this appears to be holding now.
Okay, I'm gonna jinx it. I think it's gonna be a
James,
short show this
Are
week.
you gonna, James? We need to do a test now. He always does this for the show. Belly moves,
James
belly's
Farley. He's
This
going to
is
be
the same
so
boss, isn't it?
upset with us about that.
What, using that picture?
Yeah.
Would
He
you think
can
he
be
actually
really-
watches this?
No, I mean, he'll find out.
Will he?
Yeah, when I
don't-
take a screenshot and send it to him. Yeah, no one
Well,
tell him.
Well, because
No one tell him and see if he picks up on it.
I mentioned this to you, Dave, but Sarah had floated the idea of me bullshitting him about Sonic, and I thought,
Saying it was the
like,
greatest game you've
could
ever
I just
played, yeah.
record it separately and put it in the show, and James will never listen to it. He'll never know.
He won't, he won't.
Yeah. Well, he might listen to it when he's off.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
but what you could have. Oh, hang on. We might be able to still do that. He's not one to listen early, is he? Like when we get the edit done.
I don't think he
like,
listens
get
at
it.
all. I don't think he ever listens back to it.
Oh, no, he does when
Unless
he's
he's
not on
away.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
of
no.
course.
What I'm thinking is, if we get the edit done really quickly, and this is Sunday night as well, we add in like a fake bit of your commentary, and then say, "Here we go. It's in the Dropbox."
Oh, mock turtle soup. Fair
And
play.
Moomin Biscuit.
and Moomin Biscuit. Look at that.
A solid
Absolute legends.
thumb up.
Absolute legends.
All round.
We are nearly on a hype train.
Choo.
Not so much respect for Ryan C. Right, are we? I'm joking. I'm joking. Yeah, we're all happy that you're here.
So we get,
Tell your
Audacity on the
friends.
go.
Should we get going?
Yeah.
Everyone hit record.
Hang on, whoa. I'm literally just opening Audacity now.
Alright, well, when I said everyone, should we get going, you said yes.
I thought that was in a
ready.
mental, emotional sense, not in a literal
From
pressing the. I'm, game face on. I don't have a game face. This is it. I just have one face, which will just have to do in all scenarios, games or otherwise. Right, now I am ready.
The evil shredder attacks. Right, okay, everyone hit record. 3, 2, 1, Matt.
And I will run the intro. I need to do like an actual good intro because
Oh, that's right.
this one's not good and it's too long. But here it is.
Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Matt Murray,
Hello.
Sean Bell,
Hello.
and James Farley. No, he's not here. I'm a little bit bitter about this week. I should not be podcasting tonight. I'm worse for wear, Sean.
Yep.
I am worse for wear.
And
I
where's
wasn't
James? What's James's excuse?
Well, I had an excuse as to why I couldn't podcast tomorrow night. We're recording on a Sunday. I can't. I've got tickets to. We're taking Harry to his first ever England game tomorrow night. England Germany. After the Italy game, I shouldn't have fucking bothered. Hey, Matt. Hey?
Yep, tell me about it.
Oh shit. Hey, did you watch the game the other night, Sean? That was a total joke. It was.
Didn't know there was one, to be honest. So I take it we didn't win.
There was one.
We didn't
We
win.
got relegated from the Nations League.
Yeah, we got
Did we?
relegated from the Nations League.
Even
Yeah,
I know that's not good.
yeah, but no, but well, we don't know that's not good. The whole competition makes no sense. But
Okay.
but for some reason we were okay with James not podding this week, but not me. I couldn't have a week off, so here I am on a Sunday. I'm all tuckered out.
And you suggested we do it on a Sunday.
No,
True.
I was being quite friendly and saying we could do that, hoping you'd go no,
Nah,
Dave,
don't be
week
daft.
off, mate.
I know,
I'm all
but if we get a
tuckered out,
guest on,
Sean.
we've got to pay him, Dave. So think
true.
about that.
We got to think about that. We got to factor that all in. Yeah. So Thursday I was at a live gig, which was amazing.
Mhm.
Friday, I don't know, I was just fucking. Oh, we went for drinks after work, and then yesterday I went to a fancy dress party. Who'd have thought we'd be back to fancy dress parties? We've got the COVID's a thing of the past now, and we can all get dressed up in fancy dress. I made a complete tit of myself, not
Cool.
because I went dressed as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
No, that was
You
fun.
were drunk.
What? Which one? When you go into a party, which Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle do you go as?
You're the party dude, don't you?
Exactly, Michelangelo. Get up there. So that wasn't the embarrassing thing. The embarrassing thing was walking up to some 40-year-old bloke and going, "Hey, meatloaf, quality, love that." And he went, "I'm the Terminator." I went, "Oh, yeah." There's
Oh, dearie me.
That's a bit of a problem, isn't it?
Hang on. So what was his hair like?
Well, he said he didn't have a wig on,
Right.
but he didn't look like the fucking Terminator. He just looked like a big fat man.
Surely for him to be Meatloaf, you'd have to have the long hair.
No, he just had a leather jacket. Yeah, but you'd expect him to have something else that indicated that he was a Terminator. He just had a leather jacket on,
just
sure.
a shotgun,
He'd have some
or
glasses.
bike,
So sunglasses.
boots.
Oh, he did have sunglasses actually,
Well, there you go.
and he did come in on a
that's
motorbike.
Terminator, David.
But that's both as well, like a bat out of hell.
Yep.
I made an idiot of myself there, but so
Okay,
there was that.
How did he move on from that conversation?
I didn't. I just walked off.
Okay.
So I just went, oh, okay, bye. Like,
Terminators hate that.
what's the point? What is the point? You can't.
You can't. Yeah,
and
you can't. You could. I mean, you could have gone into like, oh yeah, no, yeah, I love the Terminator, but it's gone.
also,
Hasn't it? You can't.
I had no. You can't. You can't. You can't. I've called you Meatloaf. You were the Terminator. I'm so sorry. And we had a chatty barman as well. And fair play. I've been a barman. It's really hard. You just want to make your night interesting because it's really boring otherwise, and B, you just want to be friendly to everyone and try and get a laugh or whatever. But going up to fancy dress guys to the bar, where's your nunchucks? Yeah, I don't
They're actually
know, mate.
legal in the
Yeah,
Hey,
actually. Yeah.
So,
You eating pizza tonight? Yeah. Can I have my beer, please, now, please, so I could go away, please, sir? I don't know. It's all. I mean, we spent 2 years moaning that there was no social interaction, and now I'm moaning that there's social interaction.
Now look.
So David, no one saw you at the bar and said, "Oh, I love Bat Out of Hell."
No, but I did to the bloke behind me. But turns out he was the Terminator. We would like to thank our Patreon producers for this month. They are, of course, the Phil Nels crew, Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Jack Oven, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights are Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gazman, Gabsy, Rocketman76, Rex Reese, Grey Dragon Claw, Fred Fenge, Smooth Monkey, Don Whiskerando, Colin Smith, Richard Sawyer, Jonathan Edwards, and Tom S. That is a crew. That is a crew. What a crew!
Formidable squad.
Major Nelson would be proud of that, isn't he? Isn't he? Maybe we should just email him that list of names every day at the same time.
What'd you make of this, Nelson?
What'd you make of this,
Who do you think this
Major?
is? Yeah.
Think you can step up?
Yeah. Recognise these folks?
You too can support us by going to patreon.com/TCGS. I mean, it's the end of the month. Wait until the month ticks over, because next month I am very, very excited about what we've got in store for our £8.50 tier group. The Live in It tier, I think it's called. We're doing GTA heists. We're going down the heist route. Oh, Sean, I didn't tell you. You'll like this. I bought cables for this corner of the room, so I can just unplug my Xbox and plug it in next to my monitor in the bedroom.
Very shrewd move.
I'm ready for it.
That's a very good idea.
I am ready for the
you
heist.
Don't do that, Sean.
No, well, because when we did the ill-fated Ultimate Chicken Horse stream, my bright idea, which I tested earlier that day and was fine, was I was going to stream the Xbox to the PC.
That's
that
right.
Way, just like, well, then I'm just capturing a window. That's a piece of piss. And then literally 10 minutes before it was due to start, just wasn't working anymore. So I had to fucking rip the Xbox out and then come through here. So, yeah. No, I should have that set up ready to go, really, just to unplug it in.
I like some of the comments going, you're having a meltdown about it, and there's the three of us going, have you tried a different cable? You can tell that Sean just wanted to swipe the desk in anger. We've also got Marvel Calls is going away, like it's rumbling along. We have been utterly abused about our Captain America: The Winter Soldier episode. Lots of complaints about that one. But
I mean, the complaints are more aimed at James, right?
No. The complaints were aimed. Oh, mate, I've been hammered about how I didn't like it.
You were moaning about it a bit, but also James fails to justify a lot of it, right?
It does. Yeah, it does. But don't worry, Guardians of the Galaxy. This episode for the public is out on Friday. It's a good one. Yeah, keep your ear out for that. And our patrons, they get it a week early. And this week they'll get to hear Avengers Age of Ultron. We've not spoken about these films, right? I'm really interested to hear your opinion of Age of Ultron, Sean. So once you listen to that episode, please text me and tell me what you think of it.
Yeah.
Because, okay. I think that's going to be an interesting episode for people.
Yeah.
But that's it. Let's get all of that out of the way now. Come on. And let's get to the feedback.
I'm really looking forward to the feedback, because obviously we did mention last week that we have been weirdly getting a load of shit in the inbox lately. So I'm really keen to see what's the first bit of feedback, Matt.
Well, yeah, it's been a great intro, Dave. We really appreciate you talking about all the kind of content we produce. This is Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Now, I'm going to apologise for my language. I don't give a fuck about Marvel calls or listening to you talk about playing games on Twitch. Shut up. Concentrate on your actual show.
Right.
I mean,
Go on,
what
Sean.
are we supposed to do with that? Jesus.
Here's what we're supposed to do
Not
with
the
it.
one Marvel calls.
To the person that sent that in, and I know you're listening again this week, go fuck off. The show's not for you. We're doing things the way we want to do it. Go and listen to someone else. I don't want you to listen to this. I don't give a fuck what you think about the show. Just go fuck yourself. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that?
I mean, I think this person is just not a fan of housekeeping at the beginning of the show, and I think I agree with them.
That's what you wanted, wasn't it?
Yeah, we wanted all the socials at the start as well, Matt.
Yeah.
So
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
it just fascinates me because, like, I feel like all the stuff that we do outside of literally just the podcast is like, it's never like, oh, I know what'll make some fucking money. Do you know what I mean? It's always things we want to try because we enjoy doing it and we enjoy branching out a bit. So for people to just be like, no, stop it.
It's a podcast.
It fascinates me.
And
it really does.
most podcast players have a fast forward 30 seconds button. Just fast forward that stuff, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, honestly, I've never understand it, man. I don't give a shit. Right. Never listen to the
Feedback has
listeners.
really ramped up in recent weeks.
It has. I don't know what it is.
Right.
I think
I mean,
you know,
delight is the wrong word, but
people don't like the success we're going through,
well,
Matt.
they hate
That's the
that, don't
problem.
They bloody
They-
hate that.
Yeah.
You've seen those
I like to
TCGS
call them-
guys, they're semi-professional now. What the fuck?
I've got a little word for people like that, Matt. I don't know. I'm
Let's
gonna
not
I'm
use
gonna
the C
float
word,
it.
so
I'm gonna float it and see what you think.
Yep.
I'm going with haters.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
I've heard of them.
I like to refer to those people as haters, Sean. So you know,
Don't let the haters get you down, bro.
I'm trying. I'm bloody trying not to, Matt.
I've actually
Move on.
heard that haters are going to hate.
Oh, I've heard that.
That's what I've
Sean,
heard.
those are bloody-
They are.
Yeah.
Put that on a t-shirt. Get out. Go on.
What can we do about that? The haters are going to hate. So
They're going to hate, and to expect them to do otherwise would be foolish, Matt. So,
Yeah.
Shake it off. Shake it up. Go on. Next.
Eddie the Egg has messaged us. David said, this is regarding the Splatfest.
oh yeah.
Go on.
3. David says, here take fun to a deserted island because it isn't real and so it doesn't matter, but then complains about things not being 100% realistic all the time on Marvel calls. Come on. Either it doesn't matter because it's not real, or every single detail in a superhero film needs going over with a fine tooth comb. Surely you can't have both.
This is Eddie the Egg. I'm going out on a limb to say that I think he was a fan of Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Big Cap fan.
I mean, obviously I had problems with your logic regarding Splatfest, Dave, but surely there's a world of difference between a fictional competition in a video game and a film.
Yeah, the film that
You can apply different
my life away from
standards.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, different standards there. I'm sorry, Eddie the Egg. I'm sure. I think. Do you know what's really frustrating? The most frustrating thing of this whole process is that I remember how nitpicky I was at the start of this, watching these films, and then thinking of the journey that I went to. I mean, there are. Don't get me wrong. There are still a few episodes coming out that I'm absolutely dreading coming out, right? Because I'm going to get absolutely torn to pieces by fans.
I don't know,
right?
because there are some definitely less good films coming
Yes,
up as
but
well.
there are ones that people really like that I did not like as much, right? And that is not going to go down well when those episodes come out. So I'm aware of that. But there's still some that I'm like, don't worry, I'm still doing this. I'm still watching Marvel stuff. I mean, to explain, I've just finished Loki, and I'm really excited to talk about it. We're not doing it. I don't want to spoil what we're doing, but we got something coming up that we're doing that you won't even hear till next year, because fucking hell. But yeah, thanks for the feedback, Eddie. I'll take that. Mate.
We've got more about David's Splatfest
Go on.
thoughts. As it's from Jolly Nice Soup. Gentlemen, I'm 100% behind David and will be replicating team fun in the upcoming Splatfest. This is on the basis that should I find myself washed up on a desert island, I'm completely fucked. No amount of gear or grub is going to change that. May as well go down, enjoy myself. Enjoy your long, miserable lives, barely surviving on an island, Sean and Matt. But enough about living in the UK. I hope you enjoy the Splatfest.
That's what made me laugh, right? And when I listened back to the argument, it was one of those moments where I just thought, I wish I'd have said this at the time. But when James was going, well, you buy gear. Yeah, all right. You'll be dead. Yeah, because we'll be like, I'll build a shelter. And I thought, James, it took you 6 months to put up some fucking curtains, mate. You're going to stand in front of a saw and a spanner and a hammer or whatever and go, the fuck do I do with these then? Do you know what I mean? Like he's going to build some sort of mansion.
Yeah, I mean, and I do respect the line of logic that is just like, what if survival is not my aim? what if I just don't, let's forget that.
Yeah, what if my aim is, look, I'm gonna die. Let's have a fucking laugh.
Let's play some cards.
Let's play some cards.
I mean, at time of recording, I was going to bring this up in what you've been playing, but it'll only take a sec, so may as well do it now. Yeah. Have you seen, Dave, where things are up to?
No.
So they do that. So when Splatfest kicks off, they tally all the votes.
I didn't know they do it. They do it piecemeal, okay.
Yeah, and then halfway. So after the first day, they then reveal who's currently in the lead. Then that changes how the tricolour battles work.
Okay, so just before you get into it, you made it very clear that fun would be the most unpopular choice.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the way it went?
Fun is the most popular choice. And was in the lead after day one. So
these losers.
Awkward. I mean, it could all change. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
Absolute losers. Enjoy your fun when you're dead.
Oh God!
There was some, all the.
I'm so happy.
All the posts that are like appear in the city, right? All the people who've done their sort of, propaganda for their team or whatever. I saw one that was literally just a picture of a grave, and it just said like "R.I.P. Team Fun." Lol.
I've seen a few posts on Twitter about their hatred towards Team Fun. And I just can't imagine anyone sitting there going, oh, fucking Team Fun, fuck Team Fun. Now let me go back to my game where I'm painting the floor with ink.
I did, but the only post I did, which I can't imagine has appeared in anyone else's city, because I think you have to get a certain number of votes. I just scribbled on the screen Team Fun are a liability in a crisis situation.
That's it. You showed us.
Yep, certainly did.
Fucking hell! Thank God you're not on my team. Listen, Splatfest. When does it run? I'm still unaware of when it runs and stuff.
So I think it stops at 1 a.m. tonight.
Right, so it runs for I wish it would run Friday through to Monday. I wish it would
make
do
more
that.
sense, wouldn't it? But yeah, it's 48 hours.
Because I went to play a bit on Friday evening, and I was like, oh, it's not started yet. Yeah. And then Saturday, it's like, who's got the time to fucking play on Saturday? It's nuts.
Me.
Do you play handheld though? Because I still struggle controlling that shit in handheld.
Tally all the way.
Yeah, starting to an old telly with the old pro controller. Lovely old job.
Yeah, for me, I like it. Darren Huckabee, hi guys. I would like to respectfully disagree with your, particularly David's, comments on PSVR, as you seem to be reacting to the machine solely from a marketing and sales perspective, potential sales, audience, etc. But what about us games fans? Of course, I'd like to see this at a reasonable price, but I think it has the capacity to be a superb addition to the PS5, capable of far more immersive, interesting VR experiences than the Quest 2. I assume having the Wire is the only way to ensure the high performance level, although as an ex-footballer, I'm no tech expert.
What have you slipped that in there, Darren? Oh,
Darren Huckabee.
It's Darren Huckabee. It's the Darren Huckabee. Sorry. So I do apologise, Darren.
Saying you think it should be a wireless device is a bit like saying you'd rather have a bottle of water than a fully plumbed in tap connected to the mains water supply. Sure, I enjoy a bottle of Evian now and again, but I wouldn't shower in it. I shower in mains fed tap water. The water here represents high speed data. Thanks, guys. You are my favourite gaming podcast.
Cheers, Hux.
Cheers, Darren.
See, the problem with this, I mean, you're absolutely right. Look, I don't think I've played a game on the Quest, like an actual video game on the Quest, as good as Astrobot Rescue Mission. Yeah. Right? That's probably in terms of VR, like a VR game. Maybe virtual reality, I think, is up there as well. I think that is very, very good.
I think there's another one on the Quest 2. It's pretty good.
I can't think of any. But but I'm not including games like PokerStars or actually Golf with Your Friends is very good as well.
No, that wasn't what I was thinking.
Okay, well, there's
Talk about
still.
mini golf.
No, my brain's gone now. I can't think of any more. But um, what I will say is that our concern about PSVR is very, very simple. PSVR, in terms of a gaming platform, will be a lot more closed off than Quest. I think that's fair to say, right?
Yeah.
Is that fair to say, Matt? You would know better than I
I
would.
mean,
But
Quest
he's not
is
allowed to say, is he?
No,
yeah.
he must be
I
able
mean,
to say that it's harder to get your game onto PSVR than it would be on the Quest, right?
It depends though, because there's multiple. Like with the Quest, there's various tiers, isn't there? Because anyone can make a Quest app and put it on Side Quest, for example.
yeah.
We have
Well,
to
yeah,
sideload
on
stuff,
App Lab, what
and
it's
then
called,
then there's the App Lab as well. But then actually getting onto the proper store is a different ball game and maybe on
Right.
par with PSN. I
You
don't
can
know.
also, what Quest has got is you can plug it into your PC and it turns
Yep.
into a Rift playing PC VR. Obviously, we
Okay.
don't know what PSVR 2 can do in terms of connecting to your PC yet, but
Yeah.
yeah, you could maybe say that.
Okay, well, the worry and the focus that we put on the marketing side and the release and the price for PSVR is that I think Sony are far more likely to ditch it if it sells fuck all. So what we want to see is PSVR 2 to come out and fucking bang. Because if it comes out and it fucking bangs, then we're going to get brilliant games from Sony in VR, and that's at the end of the day, that's the goal. That's what we want, right? I just don't see how they do it with the product they're releasing at the price that is predicted to be, and that's the concern, I think.
And and like as you say, I would be thrilled to see PSVR 2 have loads of stuff that the Quest can't do, right?
Absolutely.
Like I think VR game, I think VR is really interesting. I also think, PSVR 2 has the potential to continue that push of getting like regular people to try VR without the metaverse stink around it as much as you get with the Quest.
Yes.
So yeah, like I would love to see like loads of PSVR 2 stuff that's like, holy shit, this is fucking new. It's just that from that showcase we saw, and again, I know that won't be representative of the whole library, but it was just, oh, here's some PSVR 2 games. It's some Quest games that have been out for ages.
Right, but I still think we're going to see amazing Sony games coming out for PSVR
yeah,
2.
100%.
But for me, that's less of a relevance than them releasing a product that's really going to sell, because it's not so much the initial release of games, it's where we're going to be 3 years down the line with PSVR. If it sells under 1 million units in 3 years, are they going to be putting money into development for games on that system? Probably not.
Yeah, because like we know, Facebook / Meta, like they put a lot of money into Quest development. Like there's a lot of games on the Quest that wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Facebook just going, yes, here you go, please just make it. Like they understood that was just something they needed to take on the chin to get the library where it needed to be. How long are Sony willing to do the same thing if they need to? Right, it might just be that it works. Like it might
that is kind of a concern for me as well. Like when you think about games that you've recommended on the Quest, that's been going for what now, 5 years?
God, yeah, it must be around that. Yeah.
So then you're kind of thinking, where do we go from here? What's the next level for VR? Because as much as I love the look of Half-Life and everyone that's played it has said it's incredible, I'm never going to play that game. It's too much for me. It's too intense. It's not how I want to spend my time.
Yeah.
So what's the next sort of game I'm looking at to play in VR? I really hope Sony find something, to convince me.
If like, there's a bunch of previews that came out last week, maybe the week before actually, where everyone got to post their preview video of what PSVR 2 do, and it had showed footage of that Star Wars game and another one which I can't remember at the time, but also crucially showed Guerrilla's new Call of the Mountain. Everyone said actually out of all demos they played, that was by far the best.
Okay.
And really shows what it's capable of in terms of haptic feedback and how the controls work, and graphically it's a step above anything else they'd seen certainly that day. I can't remember how they compared it to other VR experiences, but that's the kind of stuff. And you only have to look at the VR community, and everyone's kind of desperate for like a shot in the arm in terms of VR. We had Half-Life Alyx, but we're waiting for the next big thing after that, and a lot of people are saying this could be the shot in the arm VR needs, especially if Sony. They've obviously already put money into it because they released this product which looks really powerful. So the hope is, with Sony, Guerrilla, other Sony first party developers putting money in and developing these games, that's gonna be the shot in the arm that the VR will, what it needs at the moment to maybe push it to the next level. So
I just don't see that yet. That's the
yeah.
thing. Usually, when you see a shot in the arm for an industry, you can see it, and you can see a reason why that's going to have that impact. And I haven't seen a reason for that yet. So we'll see. We'll see. Look, I'm open-minded, man. I'll see what happens next year. Price is a big thing for me.
yeah, it's gonna be a fascinating few months, just for price and release and
And what that launch lineup's going to be, how many games are coming over from Quest to PSVR, how many games they're going to bring forward from the original PSVR to PSVR 2. It's going to be interesting.
The whole idea about people being disappointed about it's just like as a Quest ports, I fully get that because they're like, well, I've already seen this, and or maybe the titles that are being ported on, really taking advantage of the new hardware. But I would want all the games I play now on
the one system.
So if
Yeah.
if I get PSVR 2 and it's amazing and I'm playing Call of the Wild and someone's like, hey, do you want to play Walkout Mini Golf? That absolutely Beat Saber, definitely, Demio, whatever it is, definitely. So I don't mind that so much. I get it.
But here's the other concern with that though, Matt, right? Yes, absolutely. I want to play Poker Stars, I want to play Walkabout Mini Golf on my PSVR 2, right? They have to allow cross-platform play. They have to.
Well, those two already do. But
yes,
yeah,
they do.
But then there's other games that don't, obviously. And
but I'm talking Sony have to allow that. So Walkabout Mini Golf comes out on the Sony platform. They have to be able to play with Quest players.
Yeah.
The player base is too narrow for them not to do that in my book.
I think that's why they'll want it, especially in the early titles, and then by that point, momentum's hit at such a point where every title will have it. But yeah, they've got to acknowledge that, especially Walkman Mini Golf, to say as an example, that's got a massive user base. It will be, it'll be mad to not utilize that. So
is that not on regular PSVR, or is it not?
I don't know. It must be. It must be because isn't that how we played? No, we all played. We all played Bridge Crew with the Quest, right?
No, that was crossplay with.
That was
PlayStation.
Crossplay.
Yeah.
Okay, so fingers crossed. If they do that, that'll be a big thing. I mean, especially less like you play Walkabout Mini Golf with your friends, right? So it's less of an issue for that, I guess. But Poker Stars is all about sitting next to random people around a table and like.
Yeah.
That needs to have that crossplay there, I think.
Yeah, like you say,
I can't wait. It's going to be really interesting.
To keep the server population up, right? If like you can't have because like we've said, like let's face it, PSVR 2 is going to be a slow burn just because of the number of PS5s out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, just to make sure that those early players have people to play with. Yeah, I think it's going to be essential. Yeah.
All right.
Cool. 100 dozen fractured soup mugs. I was about to go to bat for James, thinking that if he'd just taken the highlights of the Nintendo Direct, you'd all have given him a shit for ones he missed or chosen to list, or for editorializing. But I kept listening as I wrote this feedback, and he immediately skipped one game he didn't want to talk about, then lasted 15 seconds before he wilted under the pressure and gave up the whole. James, don't let them bully you. You're the newsman. You set the agenda. None of the Fox News fake news infotainment that Turner's wants. Just the facts, crisp and dry. I look forward to the new era of the news, right up to the point where we have a breakdown mid-pod and log off screaming that you're mad as hell, not going to take it anymore.
Oh, I mean, you do sound like an Alex Jones fan in that message. I'm not going to lie. I
think our point was I don't think any of us would have a problem with James going I will read out the highlights as I see them. If anyone would like to chip in or say at the end if there's anything else you want me to bring up, let's do it that way. But it seems to be this all or nothing approach.
Well, no, this is it. This is it, right, Sean? So the only reason why he wanted to read out the list is because he put it together. Yep. That was it. That was the only reason he wanted to do it, because he spent 5 minutes putting it together.
From IGN.
Yeah. He was like, well, I'll put it together now. I'll read through it. Yeah, but what are we getting out of it, James? You're just listing out games that you know. He knows. He knows, doesn't he? He's not stupid.
He knows what he's doing.
He's a brain box, that boy.
He is.
He knows what he's doing. Don't defend him. We're not bullying him. We're coaching him, if anything.
Hazing.
James has got more letters after his name than I've got in my name.
That's right. And what that's got to do with anything. But he has.
Isn't it? Clever. This is some feedback from Braddon. Just a thought after listening to an old episode. Some years, this is Game of the Year related actually. Some years you end up with an argument because someone is really passionate about a game that others haven't played. How about trying something new? Each of you could nominate one game in November, and everyone has to play through all
Oh
of it.
no! Stop
Could it be an
it,
early draft? I'm too lazy to think of a name. I'm sure James can though.
Matt. Why have you put this in there? You know, because Matt's been pushing this agenda for years.
No, absolutely not.
Yes, you have. You're always
Okay,
like,
maybe a couple of years.
let's do it early so we can all play the games. I'm not playing your fucking shit games. I'm not interested in them. I want mine to win. I don't give a shit if you play them or not. I want mine to win. This is not a fair system.
No.
This isn't. We're not trying to be fair about this. I'm gonna get mine to win, and
Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
Arguments is that it's not fair.
I've got a good ratio. I've got a very good ratio of getting my ones to win. The ones I want to win to win. So to win.
One.
To win. Yeah, I mean, because ultimately, if we did that system, all it means is that we're going to end up forcing each other to play games that we just don't like anyway.
During the busiest period of gaming in the year.
Yeah, I'd rather focus on the things I know I need to get played, even if someone else has nominated them. Like, say, I don't think he will, but say Dave or James goes for Elden Ring, right? I'm still going to try and finish Elden Ring because I also believe that we should have a rich discussion about it.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know.
Could you imagine me sitting there with a copy of God of War, Sean, and instead I'm playing Dibble on the Flibble Dibble because you've said it was a good indie game you played once on your PC?
It's great. It's part of the Dibble Flibble saga.
I've done that gag before and it still makes me laugh.
It's and similarly, I've got no interest in forcing you to play something that I think you won't like. Like, I don't think the discussion benefits from that. You know,
if we did it this way, I would 100% nominate FIFA every year to get Sean to play it. Every year, you've got to put 10 hours. You've got to complete a season.
Yeah.
On stream.
I was only in it for the story, Dave. Is there still stories?
No,
in it?
they ditched that.
Okay.
No, it's Volta now. They want you to play Volta.
Street football, Sean.
It's fucking. Oh, I'd love to see a Volta stream from you, Sean.
Yeah.
Just for you to go. I even understand what they're trying to achieve here. Or an ultimate team. Could you imagine? Could you imagine Sean Bell doing an ultimate team stream where he gets like, and the next is Haaland. I don't know who he is, or if that's a good
because we can
one.
call it like football.
We could call it football.
Yeah.
Matt always works for the pun first.
Did
you got the idea. I had the pun. Football.
Because I mean, I assume I'm still like bottom of the fantasy league as well.
I haven't checked.
I haven't checked. I assume I think it was.
Matt
79
lasts
tweeted
about
saying,
2 weeks for the fantasy league and then ditches it.
Well, I still
not true at all. I'm on.
He does. He gets bored and moves on.
Seriously.
I mean, I was very happy that I bothered to do it just because some of the team names were really funny. But also, I love the fact that when you like setting everything up, obviously it comes up saying like, right, well, who do you support? And we'll sort of start there. And I had to choose the option at the very bottom that's like just a general fan, just like all of them really. I think they're all good.
I'm a fan of football. I'm a fan of football. Actually,
they're great. They're so.
I like all the teams.
Football.
What was your team name?
Sean, you're not bottom.
I'm not bottom.
What's Sean's team name?
What was my team name?
I don't know. I'm trying to find you.
I think it was like.
Oh, have a look at the top, Matt. Have a look right at the top.
The trouble was I scrolled to the bottom. That was maybe my first mistake. Oh no, there you are. You're 125.
125.
5 out of how many?
What are they called?
Football Squad FC.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, there we go. Where are you, Matt?
You're 6 places above the bottom.
Where are you?
Cool,
Matt.
I'm rubbish. I'm 63rd.
Okay,
I mean, it's quite a lot better than me.
It's been a tough start to the season.
Haaland
twice, and it was game over.
Let's move on.
Yes. Yeah, Garrison Savannah, this is a bit of feedback from a Steam Deck user. It's defo a bit bigger and heavier than a Switch, but I find the shape a lot more comfortable to use. The sticks, D-pad, buttons and triggers are also better than on the Switch. The downside is that you're giving up a bit of portability compared to the Switch. If you stick to games that Valve have certified deck compatible, it's as easy to use as a console. These games start up with the control and graphic settings optimized to the deck, so there's no mucking around with settings, and the OS keeps all your game systems and drives up to date seamlessly. I've been playing all my Switch games on it via emulation. All games I've paid for, no piracy.
I beg your pardon. You
Good
did
save.
what? You are doing what, Garrison Savannah?
Yeah,
say-
you can just emulate Switch games on it.
Hello,
It's powerful enough.
police,
He
please.
says he's bought them.
Yeah, he just said.
Yeah, you say you bought by when you fucking emulating shit.
Dave, that handheld emulator you had, where'd you get the games for that?
I downloaded them from the internet. Actually, they came with it, so it's.
Oh,
not
right,
even
so
my
they're all officially licensed then.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
fine.
I bought them.
You bought a six- Okay, I'll carry on. I tweaked my Switch so we can download ROMs of any games I own to the deck, and it runs them better than Switch can. I can run Breath of the Wild at between 50 to 60 frames, but I lock it at 30 with some tweaks to make it look better than it did on the Switch, where it's rock solid at 30 with no dips. So for only 50 quid more on a Switch OLED, for the entry-level deck, I would definitely recommend it for someone who owns a Switch already. With a deck, you can play most indies and older AAA titles smoothly at max settings, and newer AAA at 30 frames or with lower detail. And with a bit of technical knowledge, you can run Switch games better than you can on the Switch. I'd also definitely recommend it to anyone over that new Logitech streaming handheld.
Yeah, we're going to get to that in a minute.
Okay.
In a minute.
I've been streaming xCloud stuff to it, and it works great. So thanks for the feedback, Garrison. I mean, not a week goes by where I don't look at that and think.
I mean,
I regret.
yeah,
I regret not buying that instead of an OLED. Actually, is there a deck dock yet?
Not an official one, but there's plenty of unofficial ones that work just fine.
And they
apparently.
look good. Do they look good? Are they like
I
just look
think
like
so.
a normal?
And they're like sort of what 30, 35 quid, I think.
Oh my god! It's,
But
fucking
they just
Nintendo would
take
charge
it back.
90.
Within 30 days, you can get a refund for your Switch, can't you?
Yeah, but I'm really liking Lumines.
Oh, well.
Probably,
can
I'm
play
pretty sure
that
you can get Lumines on.
You
So
can.
I'm
Someone pointed it out.
Fair enough.
Someone pointed it out.
Yeah, I mean, not to jump ahead again, but yeah, I had a quick go on one at EGX, and within about 5 seconds, I was like, "Oh fuck, I need it! I need one of these now." Another thing that plays all the things I can play everywhere else.
Yeah, that's the problem, though, isn't it? How long are you going to be playing it for?
I mean,
Well, no, I
like
guess
it
as
would,
long as
it would
indies
allow me
come
to.
out see.
Sorry,
I
go on.
want to play handheld.
Yeah. It would allow me to just mop up loads of indie stuff.
Oh, well, then buy one then. Stop fucking moaning.
Oh, maybe I
don't
fucking will. No, the problem is, it's because you have to pay the £4 to put the pre-order in, and then at some point you'll just get an email saying
you still can't just buy one then?
no, and then you get an email saying like,
alright,
all right, 350 quid. The thing is, if I could guarantee that email comes in on Patreon payday, I'll be laughing.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to save that money, Dave. I can't do
Yeah,
that.
that's put me right off the whole process. I'll get one when you can walk into
Dixon's.
Curry's
Yeah.
and buy one. Yeah,
Yeah.
give it a few years. We'll be right.
But I mean,
Andy.
the Switch stuff is very interesting, isn't it? Like, just that. I'm not saying yay piracy. I mean, I often am. I'm just in this instance. I'm not saying you should go out and pirate games that have just come out. Right? That's kind of shit. But that is shocking, isn't it? That a device that only costs a little bit more can just emulate Switch stuff better than the Switch can run it. That is appalling, really. On the Switch's part, I mean.
That is shit.
Hey-ho.
Well, that's it for feedback. Go to tcgs.co/dear TCGS. Leave your feedback.
News.
News. A 17-year-old has been arrested as part of an operation by the UK National Cybercrime Unit. So everyone is basically assuming this is to do with the Rockstar GTA 6. I mean, everyone's calling it a leak. It's not a leak, is it? A leak is when someone
It's a
internally
hack.
goes, all right, here you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a hack, and it's a
Hack, yeah.
it's a breach.
It's like, sorry, can I just bring this up? When you talk about language with stuff like that, like the fact that leak is being used like it's some sort of internal. Do you know the one that's doing me in at the moment? This is totally irrelevant to what we're talking about, but the quietly quitting thing. Don't
Yes.
use that phrase. Don't use that phrase because I'll tell you why. When there's people in boardrooms, managers everywhere saying, have you noticed such and such is quietly quitting? That sounds like a thing that they can talk about instead of, have you noticed such and such is working their hours?
Yeah.
Like,
Have you noticed such as is respecting their personal boundaries and
please don't use quietly quitting. I
Yeah.
fucking hate that phrase because it's
Yeah.
a way of normalising you doing your job.
Yeah.
It's
Incredibly toxic.
Yeah.
I mean,
or
it's obviously a big
abnormalising
trend,
it.
but I'm like,
It's
come-
fucking hell. Right. Okay. Sorry. I had to get that out of there. Go on.
That's right.
I mean, how is James quietly quitting?
What, the podcast?
That's the
I don't-
question.
he's got a. No, that's just standard. When he comes in at that level, he's not reducing it down to
Loud
quietly
criticism.
quitting. He's just working his hours, Matt.
Good. Well, actually, over. Actually, so if anything, we.
Should give him a pay rise.
So yeah, I mean,
17,
sorry, go on.
City of London police. So man, when I was 17, I wasn't doing this. I was playing football badly.
Wanking a lot.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I mean, it's horrible, isn't it? I mean, what he did was out of order, and then trying to, get money out of them or whatever. Kind of sucks.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's no huge surprise, is it, that it's a kid, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
like, okay, nearly 18, but that is a child who has obviously like an extraordinary ability, and has unfortunately completely misused it.
But I kind of want to stand outside the police station and go, "Come on, though, don't lock him up. Just he's shitting himself now, and he just leave it.
Yeah,
Just leave it at that."
I mean, well, because I forget what the rules are. If they're 17, is that whole thing that like, when you turn 18, everything gets struck off your record anyway? Is that a thing, or is that?
No, I think that's
bullshit?
something that you've completely made up there.
Fine,
No,
cool.
you can do it.
Just checking.
Not that I would know. I mean, I
shame
haven't
about all those crimes I committed.
I haven't got a fucking clue.
I'm 18.
Yeah, chat's saying that's not a thing.
I'm 17.
I mean, I'm pretty sure somewhere there's a file with my name on it saying stole golf balls from the driving range at Rains Park. But
oh God, yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Got in the slammer for that.
I read about that in the news.
So this 17-year-old definitely going to prison.
I know, I was about 14.
Oh,
Do you reckon they'll go to prison?
To be fair, I forget what the rules are, isn't it? Basically, you can sue them, but then there's usually no point. This is why a lot of hackers rarely face consequences for a lot of this stuff, because it's like, well, we estimate the damages to be 10 billion. Right, well, I haven't got it. I'm a child. Fucking what are you going to do? So basically, it's like they can make your life hell through putting you through legal processes, but basically they can't actually do a lot, I think, in a lot of cases. So
I don't know about that, but what I will say is that this kid's going to have a very good job in cybersecurity.
Well, yeah, that's often how it pans out. Move to a different country where they're not going to extradite you and work in cybersec.
Yeah, like this kid hacked Uber and Rockstar. He knows his way around a Google. So let's get him in.
Yeah. Sorry, I know we said we won't reference the chat, but Unamused Frog says it's in your record of achievement. Remember those?
Do you still have a record of achievements? Like, have you got your little, what is it, the little brown folder?
Yeah, sort of a burgundy red.
Yeah, mine had fuck all in it. Yeah, absolutely. I did fuck all.
Got me GCSEs.
Yeah,
in
there's
there.
no way that they're still a thing.
Right, what is next? Twitch are tightening up their gambling policy.
Well, this is a double barrel one. So
well, it is, yeah.
Both
a couple of
stories,
things,
because one of them's someone turned around. It's like every time a good bit of news comes out with Twitch, expect a massive fucking shitstorm directly after, and that's exactly what happened again.
Yeah. So basically, people have been quite rightly criticising Twitch for allowing people to stream gambling sites that weren't actually licensed in the US. Or, as they put it, provide sufficient consumer protection. So they're basically blacklisting a load of sites now. This doesn't affect our poker stream, does it? I think we're all right.
It's say poker.
No, it's not real gambling, is it?
Yeah.
Fancy football.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, there was that. But then also they are lowering.
And everyone went, "Way, Twitch are doing something good," and then they announced this.
And then they announced that they are reducing the revenue share for their top earners down from a 70-30 split to a standard 50-50 split.
Fucking, that's a big old chunk of money as well.
But it's all right, Dave, because they've explained that actually, if you get involved with their new ads incentive program, you can make that money back in no time. So.
It's also
mad,
okay because
isn't it?
the first $100,000, it's still 70-30.
That's right, yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? Because it was really interesting hearing Ian's view on this, because Ian has a history of working in show business. Mm-hmm. So he's quite aware of what platforms, money being shared between platforms and content creators and stuff like that within his industry. And when he found out it was a 50-50 split on Twitch, his reaction was, "What? What? Why?"
It's incredible, isn't it?
It really
especially
is
considering,
bad.
I'm sure Twitch is not a cheap website to run.
God no.
I'm sure. You know, I don't think it's hosted on Angel Fire. You know, I'm pretty sure it's
the
a
funny
big
thing
deal.
is that they mentioned that. They said, well, actually, it costs us a lot of money to run this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it
mate,
fucking
But
does.
mate, you're owned by Amazon, who own their own like web space. So like,
Yeah.
well, it costs $1,000. It costs $1,000 to do like 200 hours of video. It's like, mate, come on.
But that's the thing. But where is Twitch without its talent?
Exactly. Like, it's not like they really contrip in any creative way, right? As far as I'm aware, maybe once
In fact,
you reach a certain
they
level.
can actively work against it.
Well,
Do you
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like with some of the stuff that's gone on Twitch, you're actually working against it.
Yeah.
This is what a fucking. I mean, I'm seeing the irony of us saying this on Twitch right now, but what? What the fuck? Like, I don't get. I don't understand the business behind it, so that's partly the problem. I don't know how much money the website actually pulls in as profit, but they seem to be tweaking this a lot. And when they tweak it, they make these massive decisions.
Yeah.
Yet, not many of them ever seem like it works in favor of their users. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like, and it sucks because that 50-50 share is bullshit, as you say. But like, we and many others at our sort of level just sort of accept it because what choice do you have? Like,
Yeah. What's the alternative? There isn't an alternative.
And like I said, don't get me wrong. Like, you know, I was tweeting the other week when I did that. The Hot Wheels stream. I was tweeting saying, like, you know, just to acknowledge, like, it's fucking magic that I can push a button on my computer and what I consider, you know, a reasonable sized audience will just be like, oh, cool, Sean's doing something, and they will tune in and we'll chat. Like, it's incredible. So, you know, sometimes you're like, this is fucking magic. So you don't worry so much about that 50-50 share, but you should, because your time is worth more than that. Like,
the other thing that winds me up is that the reaction to when an alternative tries to make a go of it, because everyone shoots it down. Fucking shit. Well, what they do, and I just think, okay, so we're stuck with Twitch then, aren't we? Do you know what I mean?
It's like, because I do want, like, for the amount we you know, not to get into specifics or talk about how fucking rich we are, because we're not. Like, the amount we bring in via Twitch versus Patreon, like, I think if
it's not even comparable.
Yeah, like, I think at this point, if like a new competitor came out and seemed like, you know, they weren't arseholes basically, and it was like, you know, technically it was just as viable a platform, I think we would now maybe consider switching.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. We could stream on YouTube, but like,
that's true.
Yeah, but the revenue split there is even worse.
You know, but a big draw is the fact, like, you know, Twitch Prime subs, which people will get.
That is a big touch.
Prime subscription, connect your account, and you have, you know, whatever. You know, so that's a huge draw for us, and it's like a huge draw for people who want to support us. You know, who are already paying Amazon for something. So. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I saw a load of streamers I follow saying, like, are you fucking serious? Like, is this real? There's been some other like news like today actually, like their senior vice president of global creators, Constant Knight, is now leaving the company. There's been no mention about the fact that it was like, you know, if it was even linked to this, apparently like they're off for a new adventure that provides exciting growth opportunities for her professionally and personally. And also Twitch themselves closed this ticket, so that they've got a system called User Voice where users can post questions or issues with Twitch, and someone posted about the fact this revenue split is happening, and it had 22,000 votes on it, and Twitch have closed it, saying we've been blown away by the response to this post, and we've been carefully considering it for the better part of the last year. While we are declining this request, it is crucial to know that the primary value of sharing your feedback on User Voice is to have your voices heard and suggestions considered.
While we're declining this request,
desired outcome. It's important to us to be transparent and open when we can, and we're focusing on providing more content updates on User Voice as the time goes on. I mean,
cool.
Interesting. I saw a lot of people not happy with it. So,
I mean, don't get me wrong, because part of me does think like, oh, boo-hoo, you're earning over $100,000 a year from fucking streaming. Do you know what I mean? But it's not the point. Like, at the end of the day, these people's talent and work is worth more than that 50-50 split.
Well, I mean, no. Roll it back further than that. Everyone should be on a better split than 50-50.
Yeah.
So, forget. Oh, over 100,000. Look below that. It shouldn't be 150 all the way down either. It's nuts, man. Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, YouTube Gaming has been making big games. They bought loads of streamers over there. They also recently had a thing last week where like
When are we getting bought? When is that happening?
Like
What's our price?
YouTube Shorts, which is YouTube's like version of Reels for Instagram and TikTok. They announced like you get a massive kind of amount of revenue for that, and they were enabling people to join their partner program more. So YouTube are doing some quite content creator friendly things to get people over there. Maybe this is something else we're going to see a lot of people jump ship potentially.
I'm not just talking about streaming though, Sean. I'm talking about like the podcast. I'm surprised like MTV. I went onto their MTV website and they've got a gaming section, and I just thought, why don't you just call us up and just go, yeah,
You want to do it?
couple of mil. Couple of mil.
Couple of mil.
Do
that. Couple of mil.
Yeah. So we're like MTV TCGS Co. It's a lot.
Oh, let's not do it then for a couple of mil, Matt. It's too many letters.
Name's not
for a
name's not
couple of
going to
mil.
work. Sorry. I don't
Fucking
want
change the show to MTV, whatever.
Whatever
MTV
they want.
Gaming. Couple of mil, Matt.
Change
Keep going
the
up.
name of the show to Sean Bell's a prick. If
Yeah. I mean,
We'll do that for
we
free.
should do that anyway.
Well, yeah,
I'm
we
going
have
to
been floating
assist on that.
that.
There's an episode title. Can we call it that? Sean Bell's a prick.
Frick.
Couple of mil though, Matt.
Yeah.
A mil, yeah. Not for me. I want 4.
All right.
Unbelievable.
I
Cost of
know.
living crisis, Matthew. Come on.
Exactly.
Got to pay the bills.
That's why I want 4 million quid.
How much electricity are you using, Matt?
There's a these
what's,
RGBs,
what's
mate.
what's the energy rating on that neon sign?
That's 200 quid a month on its own.
I can't wait. At some point during winter, he's just going to stop turning it on and try not to.
Yeah,
just hope we
yeah.
don't notice. And like,
Yeah. Couple of mil, Matt. Come on, MTV. Buy us up. Snap us up. Snap us right up. Okay.
Apple are increasing App Store prices for everything across Europe and Asia, but not the UK yet. So this is basically, so it'll impact all territories using the euro currency, as well as a bunch of other places, and this includes like the price of apps and in-app purchases as well.
Really?
2 weeks
What
time.
was interesting about this is I had this in the news, not necessarily because of this, but I'm like, I didn't kind of anticipate digital products like Xbox games or PlayStation going up. Is this something also in our future? I didn't.
Well,
kind of,
I mean,
yeah.
to be fair, Apple have done this before, but only, I think, maybe once. Because they did. Do you remember 69p for an app? Do you remember that?
Nice, yeah.
69p.
I
It's
did.
only 69p for an app. Yeah,
Okay.
it's 69p, and that went up to £1, and we were like, "Oh, fuck off!"
Because haven't they I remember? I don't think it was Apple. No, it was Steam. That was it. Steam just went basically one day. They just sort of went right. We've realised our how we're doing exchange rates is fucked, so we're rebalancing the lot. But that meant some places benefited and some didn't. Whereas this is just an increase, which, as you say, Matt, you do wonder if this is reflective of just where things are headed at the moment more broadly.
Yeah, it's funny. Companies just seem to want to take the fucking piss at the moment and try and get as much money as possible, which they've always done. But now they're seeing everyone else bumping their prices up, so why can't we?
Yeah, and it's like
Bread is £1.20 at the moment, a loaf. £1.20.
yeah,
Fucking hell.
It depends what you buy.
which
Well,
incidentally, Dave,
Warburton, obviously.
€1.19 is the minimum or the lowest charge for a game or in-game purchase.
Okay, whatever. What? So, how much?
€1.19.
Yeah, but what's that in real money?
I don't know anymore. It's
We
fucking
ain't in the
changing all the
We
time.
Look, I know you fucking moan about it, mate, but we left.
It's probably,
yeah, we
it's
don't
probably
give
about
we don't give
60
a
quid
damn
at the
about
moment, the way
euros.
things are going. I don't know. It's,
Move on.
Matt, what bread are you buying?
Ovis, mate.
No way. That's the worst of them.
What's wrong with
Every time I have Hovis now, it just tastes like fucking sugar. It tastes like sugar bread.
well, hang on, are you what type of bread are you getting, Matt?
best of both?
Oh, nice. Same.
Yeah,
Hedge
here we
those
go.
bets. Fucking
Warburton.
get on that fence.
There was
The the toasty version, which is about half an inch thick.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
What's the fucking point in them?
What's the point in what?
The toasty ones. They're too fucking big. They never fit in my toaster.
Get a bigger
What?
toaster, mate.
Get a bigger toaster.
No,
They fit in my
I like
toaster.
my toaster.
Yeah.
You get your little skinny toaster. Do you know what I want? I want to get one of those toaster conveyor belts that you get in hotels.
Yes, they're
Yes.
good.
Bang. Love
Also,
all
there's
that.
They're
the one
great.
where you like cook like eggs on top as well.
Yeah.
I have not seen these, but I'm
No,
getting
I don't see
one.
them at hotels, but I
You,
I think I fell down like
sit
a
there and
YouTube
whack an egg
rabbit
on it. I
hole
don't think you're
where
supposed to
someone's
do that,
reviewing-
Matt.
Huh?
I don't think you're supposed to. That's not. Did you just go to a normal conveyor belt and just whack an egg on top and say, "Look, it works"?
Yeah, I've been barred from Premier Inn now.
It fascinated me. I was listening the other day. I was listening to the Sporkful, it's a very good food podcast, but it's American, and yeah, they were talking about toaster ovens.
Sorry, what's it called?
The Sporkful.
Oh right, okay. I thought you said spork calls.
Yeah,
I was like,
just-
well, hold on a
Yeah,
minute.
it's catching on. Catching on. Everyone's at it. But yeah, and they were talking about toaster ovens, and it was like, fuck, they're just not a thing here, right?
What's a toaster oven?
Well, exactly.
But what is it then?
They're like, basically, it's like a microwave, but I think it's also like a convection oven. So it's about the size of a microwave. But you
Right.
can, yeah, and that's
So it's
it.
just like an air fryer then.
Yeah, I guess. But
Okay.
but not quite. Like they're a different thing, and they only seem to be a thing in America.
Right. Okay.
But anyway, sorry, I don't see these things in hotels, but on like a tech podcast I listened to ages ago, they stopped reviewing toasters and they're like, let's review something else. And they
So
reviewed things.
stop reviewing toasters.
No, it was like an in joke where like this. No, it's not worth getting into.
All right, okay.
Basically, then they said we're going to start reviewing these machines which basically toast and then you can cook eggs on top and then beans. It's in like one machine, and they look like the best fucking thing ever.
Yeah,
Just
that
cook
does
the whole
sound pretty
breakfast
good.
in one little machine.
I love contraptions though. Just like a little side drawer. That's where you put the bacon, sausage in this little slider here. You just
Get
press
eggs
a
in
button and
there.
bing, you got full English.
Just to let you
Love
know,
all that.
Dave, according to robustkitchen.com,
Yeah.
it says air fryers are better for cooking smaller items quickly and with a crispier texture, whereas toaster ovens are better for cooking larger items at a more controlled rate.
Okay. I need one of them then.
Anyway,
yeah, no.
Yes.
Love all that.
Do we just following on from this? Do we see like games on Xbox and PlayStation increasing in the next few weeks and months?
I don't think PlayStation can they? Fucking hell,
more
they've
likely
already gone
to
up
do
to
it.
70.
But then,
They're
but then
more
if
likely to do it, though, aren't they?
yeah. But then if Microsoft were
fuck.
to raise their prices of games and stuff, is that really hypocritical when they've already gone, no, we're not raising the price of our consoles?
Yeah.
I can see them raising the price of Game Pass soon. How about
That
that?
wouldn't
Before the end
surprise
of the
me.
year.
I think
Before the end of the year, I
that was
reckon they'll
on
go.
the maybe not. I wouldn't say the end of this year, but like that's been on the
Oh,
cards anyway, right? Because that
they'll whack
service
it
is
up a
too
pound.
good value for money.
Yeah, they'll whack it up a
Um,
pound.
Yeah,
By the end of the year, I reckon.
easy,
Uh,
cheeky pound.
Well, as I said, fucking Netflix do it all the time.
Yep.
They don't
Has it
do it
gone
all
up?
the time. It feels like it because we're hearing news about the US increase and then the UK increase. But UK increase hasn't actually been that frequent. It's increasing, sure.
What the fucking
Oh.
hell? You got shares in them, Matt. What is this?
Everyone says this, like, oh, increase, like, I'll do 2 months, 3 months. Like, it hasn't. Just look at your bill.
Fucking hell. That is okay.
Have you heard?
The interesting one, we didn't address that, but the interesting one was when James turned around and went, Netflix is only £6 a month. What are you chatting about,
If you
Dave?
want to watch it in VHS,
Yeah, I think it was you pointed out to me. No, that's the SD.
Yeah.
There is no way James Farley is watching it in SD.
well, he says he watches most of it on his phone, so maybe he is. Probably less
Yeah, but
noticeable.
Even then, it's noticeable. Okay.
Yeah.
Even then, no, Sean.
Even then, Logitech.
Even then, bom bom bom. Sorry, go
Have
ahead.
now officially unveiled their handheld, but they're calling it a game streaming device, i.e., it's got like a 2-year-old cheap Android processor in it. So it's only good for cloud gaming. I'm pretty sure you could run some emulators on it if you were minded to do so. However, it's $350,
I
which
don't
price, isn't
understand this price at all.
it's bizarre. I don't.
I mean, let's assume that will be 350 quid over here because that's just typically how things work.
yep.
You could buy a Steam Deck for the same price, which
Yep.
plays Steam games and does all this streaming stuff.
Mhm.
This is, I mean, the idea of like a dedicated handheld that does streaming stuff, that sounds good and cool. I think we spoke about just last week saying, I want a machine where I can do this. I don't have to use my phone. I use my phone a lot. This sounds great, but $350 $6. That sounds like way too much for something that's just playing. So you can also play Android games natively, but
Okay,
come on.
but I mean, who's
But
doing
yeah,
that?
like it's cool this device exists, but I think this price is vastly
Yeah,
too
absolutely
much.
bizarre. And like I was saying on Twitter, so like the Retroid Pocket 3, which I love my Pocket 2 Plus, but the 3 is more or less the same device, but with like a bigger wide, it's got a widescreen display. Yeah, fine, probably not as premium as this, but that's like 120 quid, and will do all the streaming stuff as well as being like a really good emulator. And again, it'll play native Android stuff. I don't know how they've reached.
Oh wow, that
that
does look good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I
it
think
does look
looks
nice. It
really
does look
nice.
lovely.
Yes, it's $350, or there's an introductory price of $300 in US and Canada. It's got like pre-installed apps like Xbox Cloud Gaming, Nvidia GeForce Now. It says it does Steam Link as well, and Xbox Remote Play apps. And because it's got like the Android store, you can obviously download things like Disney Plus, Netflix, etc., etc. But I don't know. I just feel like it looks. I mean, when this was leaked a few weeks ago, I'm like, okay, this could be an interesting device, and it looked great from the leaks. It still looks great now, but way too much considering what you can get for that money elsewhere.
Yeah, and especially when you consider like most of the things you're going to use on it are going to require like other subscriptions as well. Like Steam, not so much, but like all the others.
It's Wi-Fi only, so it's not like.
Why have you told me about this Retro Pocket thing?
It's good, man. I really like mine.
Yeah, and does it run Game Pass games really well on it? Because I would like a device that played Game Pass games like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really because the Retro Pocket 2 Plus, it only has a like 640 by 480 display.
Yeah,
so it's 4:3 and it's not very big. But yeah, technically, like streaming Game Pass stuff to it works 100%.
It's just the ideal world. Just please just please get Game Pass on the Switch. Imagine that. Imagine that, booting up your Game Pass games on that thing.
I assume you can if you're willing to hack it, but
I'm not willing to hack it, Sean. You fucking renegade.
Well, get a Steam Deck then.
Yeah, but there are loads of other kind of retro, or things billed as retro handhelds that do this, which are much higher quality these days. I think I've watched like a couple of videos after Sean or you both got yours, and then all my YouTube recommendations were for these handheld devices.
There's a bit of a rabbit hole.
So I can't remember the names of more recent ones, but there's from one company they're bringing out a bunch, and like, okay, and these are basically Switch or Steam Deck quality or better, and they do all the things you want, plus emulation, plus the cloud stuff. So there's loads of these out there. So this being expensive, I feel like okay, forget this. But if you want to do this, Dave, there was loads out there, loads.
Okay.
Interesting to see it. Interesting to see people do this. And someone, I think one of the articles I saw was probably like Windows Gaming saying this is the closest we're going to get to a portable Xbox. But there's more interest in this category of devices, if you want to call it that. I wonder if this will ever mean we will actually ever get anything official.
YouTuber Dan Allen has fucked up big time.
I don't know who's Dan Allen.
I hadn't heard of him.
See, right, I'm not into streaming and stuff. I don't know people that are high up on Twitch and that. But don't they usually have names like Derek Explosion and Tommy Two Games or something like that? And then what is this guy's name?
Dan Allen, or he's on Twitter. Dan Allen Gaming. It sounds made up, doesn't it?
It does.
All right, I'm Stephen John. That's Stephen John Gaming. So basically, it's been revealed that he was running a separate Twitter account called The Real Insider, where he was just posting stuff that he's been, like officially briefed on as Dan Allen, that he's under NDA, and he was just tweeting it out.
Right, okay.
This anonymous account. Go on.
So he's a YouTuber.
Yep.
And he was getting access to game information through NDAs, right? Which is, I don't know why I feel the need to explain this, but an NDA is when you get, I mean, we've done them before where you get access to code early or information early, and you sign a contract that basically says you can't say shit to anyone otherwise, unless we, it gives dates and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So this YouTuber's been getting this information and then putting it out on a Twitter feed. How did they link the two? Because I must admit, I did think, why doesn't this happen more often? Why is there not like
Yeah. I mean,
someone
it's the way he got caught is the most sort of. It's like the most obvious thing, and it also the one thing you would think they would be really careful about. Basically, someone tweeted at The Real Insider, and Dan Allen replied as himself by accident.
Brilliant. I love it.
Yeah.
That is just. I mean, we've all done it where we've sent something and just gone, oh fucking hell, wrong group. You know, WhatsApp group. That happens all the time.
Yep.
And you feel sick for about 10 minutes. Oh, brilliant! I love to have seen his little face.
Yeah. So basically, and it's just. It's so annoying. You know, I'm not even like, oh, how dare you give away corporate secrets? That's really naughty. It's more just like, mate, anyone could have fucking done that. It's just a stupid idea.
No, yeah, but you got found out. That's the bit.
Yeah.
Okay, you tried it and you got away with it, and then you got found out, so you got done now. Now you got to face the consequences. When you go through this, you know, I'm as you say, I'm not on the corporate side here, but you took the risk and you got found out. So what's happened? What action's being taken?
I mean, he's apologised.
And is he on death row?
He published a statement to Twitter in apology and said it would, quote, never occur again. I'm sorry to everyone for my actions. I'm ashamed and disappointed in myself. No, you're ashamed and disappointed. You got caught, mate.
Yeah, Dan Allen, you're too right. This will never happen again. I'm pretty confident.
Because no one's going to tell you shit. Yeah.
That's what I was going for. There's no more NDAs coming your way, brother. Yep. You're back with us now. You're back in our crew, where you're sitting there going, I think Nintendo are going to announce Metroid, actually.
God, do you know what it's going to be? It's going to be that episode of the Armando Iannucci show where he finds out everyone's got a wire in their ear telling him what to do and say. So he's just going to be like, this game looks good. I like it.
It's funny anyway, but like they don't like this guy gave Jason Schreier shit about like knowing like the I think basically this guy, the Ruben Sider said, here's the code names for the new Assassin's Creed games. And at that point, Jason Schreier had heard like one of them was different or slightly different. And Jason Schreier responded, this is before he got caught, saying, I don't think that's the case actually. And then when this stuff started happening, Jason Schreier was one like comparing tweets, saying how like he tweeted about this. Then here is videos on the same date saying he was like really like took him down because he was just like really pissed off. And,
here's a question, Sean. You've done writing, you know about all this. You've had exclusive access and stuff. Have you ever known a piece of information that could have been like sort of mind blowing before it came out? So it did come out. Right, it did come out, but you knew about it beforehand, and it was like massive. Yeah. Are you even allowed to say what it is now? Don't have to.
Would
no
anyone
pressure.
Retroactively get in trouble? Possibly. Yeah. It's
okay,
not
don't
worth
say
the
it.
risk.
Don't say it.
Yeah,
I had a piece of information given to me, and you know this story about Grand Theft Auto of all series.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've got this piece of information that I could tweet now, and it would blow people's fucking minds. It would be massive. Yeah. Turns out it wasn't even true.
Well, I was going to say, because this is the thing, is like, even with that, like our sort of level of like access, right, and people we know and stuff,
mates,
we could probably. We could do one of these Twitter accounts, right? We could just post things that we've heard.
Yeah, but they wouldn't be right, though, Sean.
But then this is it, yeah. Like half the stuff we hear turns out, it's
bollocks.
It's just, like people have just been hearing rumours and they've sort of slowly been amplified over time. And then by the time it reaches us at the bottom of the chain, it's GTA 6 is out next week. It's just,
or more importantly, what we get is they've heard a piece of information from one side of the news, a piece of information from the other, and just assumed where it crossed over. You know, Sony are going to announce a big game. Apparently, such and such companies working on a new Horizon. That's just an example, for example. And they cross over. And goes, Sony are going to announce that they're, and that's where it comes from. Yeah.
And of course, sometimes we hear things, and it turns out, of course, that the information has been planted, hasn't it, Matt? That's that's happened before.
What is that? I don't know
the E3 when you were off. and Matt
Yes.
got Joe and Sam to like feed me stuff.
Oh, that's right. No, yeah, we were getting them to feed information to you.
Yeah.
Oh, I was part of that. Sorry,
were
I
you?
know
Oh, sorry.
I wasn't. I know I was off. I was
You're
very
just
much
in the
part of that.
background pulling the strings,
I was in that group.
like him
Yeah.
from the James
Brilliant.
Bond film Inspector.
Yeah, like Alan Sugar,
Yeah.
Fucking
Incredible.
yeah,
like Alex Ferguson. He's still there.
author
He's
of
still
all
there.
my
Stop
pain.
going to the game, Alex. If I was Man United's manager, I'd say, can you just not let him in? Because every time we go 2-0 down, you cut to him. Sky just cut to him, and I can't compete with that. I can't compete with that. It makes me look bad. Sorry, I've been thinking about. Sorry, man.
Just some more YouTuber news.
Just please, always.
Video game donkey, who isn't called Duncan, he's called Jason Gastro, has announced that he's going to start publishing games under the label he's calling Big Mode, which, to be fair, I'm quite into.
I'm loving this stuff. Yes, mate.
Well, it's
Watch Donkey.
You what, sorry?
Have you seen Donkey?
No, I've never seen any of his stuff.
Oh, he's really, really funny. Really
He's
good.
all right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
This is great. This is brilliant, right?
This is it. There's been like a really sort of mixed reception to this, and I don't know how much of it is like a bit of snobbery around YouTubers, and how much is it, how much is sort of genuine. Because basically, there's been a lot of people saying like, this guy's gone, oh well, I've talked about games for ages. I can spot a hit.
Yeah.
Therefore, this feels like a good use of my time and money. And basically, a lot of developers and publishers are going like, "Fucking, you are in for a shock, mate. Like, it's not that easy at all." And right, maybe he is in for a shock. I don't know. However, fundamentally, I can't hate the idea. Like, I would love to do this if we made enough money. Like, 100%.
Oh man,
it'd be a great thing to be able to do.
It's a great idea, and and if you're at that point in your career where you think you can do this, then and if you put it off, I mean, obviously you've got to be picking games that are not quite as high profile, that are not getting picked up anywhere else when you're starting. This is completely new, but yeah, good luck. If you've got, I mean, YouTubers should be seen as talent. Obviously, it's like what we were talking about with the Twitch stuff, right? And if you believe you could pick out some games and publish them, as you say, you're very you could easily fall into the trap of thinking it's an easy thing to do, and then going, "Well, I am way out of my depth." That's clearly a problem, and also that could have an impact on the games that you've signed. But ultimately, I think why not, man? If that's the move that you want to make, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and I do
think
the
a lot of
company
people forget. Like people talk about like Devolver, for example. Like, if you look at their complete library, they put out some stinkers before Hotline Miami came along.
Oh God,
God,
yeah. But
everyone's like sort of looks at sort of the bigger indie houses. And again, that's fine. I'm not having a go at Devolver at all. I think people have this image in their head of like, oh, like the your Annapurnas, you and whatever. Like, then none of them are flawless, right? Like they all occasionally back a duffer. So yeah, whatever, and so like some people were critical, and then others, so like Mike Rose, of No More Robots, was basically just saying like, I didn't have a clue what I was doing when I started. Like, not many people do. Like, it's just one of those industries. Like, especially in terms of publishing indie stuff, and spotting what they should publish, and the fucking contracts, all that shit. Like, it's a huge field, and it's still a growing one. It's still a relatively new way of doing things.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's incredibly easy to shit on Donkey for this, but I've liked his videos, and yeah, like I think good luck to him. We'll see what. I mean, I think it's him and his partner working together, and we'll see what they come up with.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome if it's someone come up with a slightly different point of view, a sideways look, if you will. And yeah, if they find some great new games, then more power to them. It'd be really exciting.
TCGS games. Think about that. First one,
label.
The Bitter Nest, coming.
That's
James Farley walking out at E3.
Right, James, you're going to learn how to code a Pico 8 game, and you're going to make the Bitter Nest.
You're going to make the Bitter Nest finally.
Yeah. Everyone in the chat.
And wasn't it an action game set now?
Wasn't it near future? Or was it
no, it was set now.
Okay,
I remember it was set now.
It's been delayed so much that is now.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it. It's set in the Wild West now. Right, okay.
Let's move on. Last one. We are getting an official reveal of the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Put it
On
in the fucking
6th.
direct that we've just seen.
Well, yeah. So it's going to be on the 6th of October at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, not Pacific Time, as stated on Eurogamer, where we've stolen most of the news from for this episode. Thanks, guys. So yeah, so this is going to be. I can't remember what we settled on. Is it 9 p.m. here, Matt? I think
9 p.m.
Yeah. So are we gonna do a live thing?
So I had an argument with my wife about this, as you guys said in the WhatsApp group. So Sean sort of said we need to watch this together. And this was, I was working, so I was like, I didn't see this until later. Yeah, Sean said we need to watch this together. Matt was like, Dave's going to want to watch it with Harry. And you're right. But at the same time, I don't know how we don't watch this together. We've got to do it.
I've got to see everyone's reaction.
I'll watch it with Harry the next morning, I think. 9 o'clock, I think, helps the situation.
I was going to say, because he's going to be in bed anyway, right?
Yeah, he'll be asleep by then. So we've got to watch it together. I just can't wait to see James's reaction. Here's what I've got in my head. A 10 to 15 minute stream where we chat about the trailer quickly before it plays. We watch the trailer. We then discuss the trailer. Then watch it again.
Analyze the fuck out of it.
And then proper break it down. Yeah.
I mean, they said it. It's a teaser trailer.
So
it's only like 30 seconds, right?
Yeah, 30 seconds of just. It's a me. But just seeing a glimpse of what this film's going to look like, I'm so excited for it. As I've said on this pod a million times before, the movie is one thing, but you've got to think of all the fucking merchandise and buzz around Mario during that period. It's going to be massive. It's going to be massive. Nintendo have got to capitalize on it, right? We're going to get some stuff, Mario stuff on the Switch, right? There's got to be something.
Yeah, well, we'll get like Mario. If not a new game, we'll get like Mario movie
Galaxy
DLC
2. That would be my guess, that they're going to release Mario Galaxy 2 on the Switch around that when the movie comes out.
I've just realised the day after is Isaac's birthday as well, so that could be part of. No, it's fine. I'll still do the stream. It'd just be really nice, like amongst like doing all these birthday stuff in the morning. Be like, oh, and by the way, it's fucking Mario movie. I mean, the teaser's any good. It might be rubbish.
Yeah, it might be rubbish.
In my mind, I'm so convinced that it won't be a stinker and it'll be like an amazing movie because Nintendo wouldn't allow a stinker, but then they've obviously done it in the past. But,
well, yeah.
Yeah, so the trailer's out UK time, 9 p.m, Thursday, 6th of October. We're going to do a live react to it, probably live from 10 to 9, but we'll confirm exact details probably on next week's show. But yeah, we're going to be there to watch it live together.
We are going to watch it. Crying. Could you imagine if we just cried? I could very much cry. I
mean, James won't, as we know.
No,
well, I don't know. Hold on. Oh, I can't talk about it yet. Have you heard the Guardians of the Galaxy episode yet?
Yes.
Okay.
I was going to make a sort of reference to it, but maybe we leave it.
Well, maybe we don't.
Okay. Just on this, Chris Pratt tweeted to a couple of days ago saying, I saw the teaser trailer for the first time myself. I am simply blown away. You will be too, I promise you. Something's very special, cannot wait. #Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Oh, wait.
When someone says they're blown away, no one would ever use that term frivolously, right? They mean.
And they actually, he's now got no trainers.
Yeah,
they've been left where he was standing before. But he also said that the Mario's going to sound like you never would have imagined or whatever.
Like anything you've ever heard.
Yeah.
But David, I think you are right. So obviously, Comic-Con was the one that actually broke this news.
That's
about
right.
The trailer and stuff like.
It is at Comic-Con, right?
Yeah, it's at Comic-Con. Yeah, but I guess it just wasn't confirmed when the direct was recorded.
No, I think they're thinking where we're gonna have the biggest impact, Comic-Con or Nintendo Direct.
No, I'm saying like on the direct, Kerr said, watch it at Comic-Con. I mean, maybe they got securing, and they're like, okay, what you're gonna do is on this direct, you're gonna mention the teaser trailer, and then it got pulled at last second, and then he's like, well, just mention the app.
I
What
bet
I'd
there's
love-
all sorts of contractual reasons why they didn't do that. Like, we
Yeah.
can't mention Comic-Con because it's a business that we're not going to promote on our fucking because they haven't paid for it. Whereas all these games, I'm sure there's sort of deals to show off at directs and stuff.
Yeah.
I bet it's a fucking contractual nightmare. So
What
yeah,
I hope is that who's directing the movie, I can't remember. Whoever's directing it saw the Nintendo Direct and was
I
like,
believe it's George Lucas,
Lucas.
isn't it?
Saw the Nintendo Direct and was like, shit, like saw it, like phoned up Shigeru Miyamoto. I was like, so, mate, did you want a trailer or something? Because we
yeah.
do one. We'll do
Go
it.
on, go on.
Take 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was showing Larry the other day this sort of mock trailer we did, and he cried. He said he was literally blown away by it. Sean, something's going. Well, never mind.
What?
There's so wild going on behind you through that window. Sorry, I shouldn't be referencing it. Should I?
Don't say that. Fucking hell. What do you mean something wild?
Can we pause for a bit? Can we have an edit
Yeah,
point?
we're
Because I need to piss anyway.
All right, fine, go on.
Lights keep flashing on and off behind you.
Yeah, that's
Have you got?
That's my neighbour's
Alien.
house.
Oh wait, it was out. But it was like I looked over and I was like, it looks like a fucking UFO was landing for a second then in your back garden.
Caught live on Twitch. That'd be incredible.
Did you see that? Matt?
No, I didn't know.
Keep your eye out. Right,
I mean,
can I go
in
for a
future,
piss then?
don't just
Sorry.
say there's some weird shit going on.
Yeah,
behind.
sorry. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That's pretty scary, isn't it? Can I go for a wee then?
Yeah, if you want.
Cheers, man.
You going for that? Yeah, what? See, now I don't know what to do, right? Because this happened last week, and I sort of need one, but I don't just want to leave you guys. Any questions for me? Well, you're about to hear all about EGX, which is going to be. I don't know. It might go on for longer than the others realise, but can't be left unsupervised. I know I can do anything. I can do anything right now. I mean, I don't know what that involves. Do you want to see the bags I got for Isaac's birthday party? They're fucking mint. Got him Pokemon ones. Fucking loves it. And I've put loads of amazing shit in them. I'm going to Play Expo this year. What's the deal with Play Expo? Let's have a look on the internet. Where is it? Because the venue it used to be at in Manchester is actually being shut. It's been fucking demolished. And they're building like a massive swimming pool resort there. Don't know why you'd put that in Manchester. But I think it's covered. So.
Do you know what I wanted to do on the stream for the podcast this week?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to. My friend
Yeah.
got me. Oh, where is it? Oh, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't have it here at the moment. My mate who sorts me out, all shirts.
Oh yeah.
Sent me a brand new player's shirt, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I'm gonna wear that for the podcast, but you got to see it. I tried it on before the stream, and I was like, fucking hell. Oh, here it is. Look. So here it is.
Yeah.
So this is just for you on Twitch and possibly YouTube. This is an official football, like a real football player's shirt. It just looks like a normal shirt, but it's got all the special badges on it. It's got the badges on. It's got the name and number on the back, right? Mm-hmm. Now watch this. Right, this is what it looks like on a regular human being.
Okay.
Here we go.
While he's doing that, sorry, Chris, just to say, I wasn't no selling it. I didn't have the energy to match it. I just didn't know what to do with it, to be honest.
What's that? What I miss?
So Chris was basically suggested we do an imaginary Sea of Friends stream while you guys were away, and I did not engage.
I'm so sorry, Chris.
Oh wow! Look at that! Look at that!
Turns out, Sean.
Yeah.
They're quite fit.
Yeah.
It's a state of
That's
this.
not built for humans, is it? That's
It's not built for you.
that is bizarre.
It's
What size
really,
is it? Does it have size?
really tight.
Yeah.
What's that?
Does it say what size it is, or is that just not? Part?
It's a, well, I'll have a look. I'll have a look. Oh, but I just having to imagine wearing a shirt that a real football player wears. To be fair, Danny McNamara is one of our smallest, thinnest players. You know, so that hasn't helped. But yeah, I mean that is. It's snug. Hold on, what's that? I've got to go and put my top back on.
Just quickly, Blue Lou, what is going on with Play Expo? Because I'm on the PlayExpoManchester.com, which says confirmed for 2021. Play Expo is back in Manchester, and then when you scroll down, Play Expo Manchester 2021 has been postponed until further notice. Maybe the others are still running. Oh, the Blackpool one's in 5 days. Cool. That would be quite a fun time, right? Because Blackpool's a bit bleak, but I think that would be quite fun to just go there and play a load of games.
What's that? What are you doing?
Chips. I was Blue Lou in the chat was asking if we're going to Play Expo.
What's Play Expo? I don't really know.
Play Expo's all right. It's very clearly like a lesser EGX, right? But it's I don't know. There was a bit. I don't know. Like the ones I've been to felt like there was a bit more of a community feel. Like there was a much more extensive like retro section with like loads of pinball and stuff as well.
Yeah, Sean, if you Google or if you go to playexpoblackpool.com, it's all on there.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But a lesser EGX sounds really bad.
I mean, it's not, well, yeah, we'll get on to that in a minute. I say less, so I just mean obviously less of the clout, right? But again, we'll get onto that. In a minute.
What's hilarious is that I've just gone to the
15th
Play
of
Expo
October.
Blackpool website and looked at the speakers, and one of the people is someone I work with.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of our
Bristol
artists,
City,
Phil
is it?
Hobson's there.
He's doing a talk on why I hate working with Matt Murray, and he's a prick.
Because he's worked on stuff.
So no, I do that one. I hope I haven't used.
He's worked on stuff since where he worked on Ocean Software.
Oh wow.
He worked on tons of stuff and
Cool.
was previously at Sumo Digital, now is at XR Games.
Oh my
How
god,
is that?
I'm going down to Bournemouth this weekend, and no, it's next weekend.
I've just realised I am actually. So when this is on in Blackpool, I am actually free because Noo's going away with Isaac with the Metaverse and their kids for a weekend. I could actually just do a little weird trip to Blackpool for a couple of days.
Oh, there's another Sean Snaps. Have you seen this?
Is it?
Oh my god, EGX they've just tweeted a picture of you.
You kidding me?
No, go to EGX now.
What? Hang on.
Someone's just sent it to us.
It's on hashtag Sean Snaps, yeah.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? That's not there.
16 minutes ago.
Oh fuck oh shit, yeah, there I am. Jesus Christ. Playing fucking Sonic. Right, so EGX didn't do it as hashtag Sean Snaps.
No, obviously.
I thought like, Jesus Christ, it's someone we actually know there's like done it and yeah. Fucking hell.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Jesus.
Playing Sonic.
Oh, cheers Warner for sending that in.
Oh, that's
I mean,
brilliant.
he's done double duties there because he's the only one who sent an actual
Richard Warner
legit one in.
absolutely smashed it.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to go back to the pot.
Oh yes, we need to go and finish a pot. I quite
Yes.
like this. It's a shame, isn't it?
It's a
If
shame.
you like this is basically what our Patreon bonus shows are like.
Yeah, that's true.
It is a good
Well,
apple
talk
for a
about more
Patreon
feelings.
bonus show.
Right.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Where were we? We were talking about...
Just
Where
fin-
were we?
Well, we just finished the news, didn't we? So
What was it? But we didn't... Yeah. Okay, I'll pick up from here and Matt will find the right place to edit.
cool.
I am just, I'm super pumped for it. I think mainly because I'm just looking forward to taking the boys. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what? The film can be shit now. Like, there was a point of me where I was going, oh no, I really want the film to be amazing. I don't really care now, as long as the boys like it.
It'll
It's
be a
Mario
nice
film
time out
that-
with the
Exactly.
kids. Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we watched the Sonic film again today,
Yeah.
and it was like, it's just
First,
such a
second.
good time. The first one. It's just such a good time, man. It's really good, and it reminded me of when we went to see the first one or the second one. I can't remember. And someone was like tutting all the way through it, and I just thought, you're not even here with a kid, mate.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, shut
Get a
up,
grip.
come on.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen the sequel to that. I need to, really.
It's good.
Personally.
It's just not really. Sonic's not in it that much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I liked it. James hated it. He hated the second one, but
That's not like him.
I thought it was good. I like the whole focus on other people in the film. I thought it was quite good. Right, okay. Is that it for the news?
That is it for the news. However,
Should we
would you
do-
like me to
Well,
talk
we do
about...
what you've been playing, but you went to
Yeah.
EGX this weekend.
I did. I was there on the Thursday and the Friday.
Go on.
It's, and obviously, because like Dave, you went last year.
It was terrible last year.
Yeah.
It was bad last year.
I am reliably informed that it is better this year. But yeah, like what I saw was clearly a show still trying to find its feet post-COVID.
Do you think? Yeah, that's what it is, right? Because
Mm.
I'm assuming that companies are still wary of sending people.
Well, this is it, right? Because it's like the things I'm gonna moan about. Like some of it is just me being old, right? Some of it's like, why are there 15-year-olds with replica swords running around? What's going on? Some of it is like purely personal, like, because I have all these fond memories of EGX being an event where like all my friends converged on one building for 3-4 days, and that just didn't really happen. Like obviously, got to hang around with a few people, which was really nice, but it wasn't that like big community thing, right? Similarly, like I didn't bump into like a single listener or anything, but that's that's not EGX's fault, right? My mates didn't go, but then yeah, and then beyond that, there is obviously tons of stuff that was I'm fairly certain was broadly out of their control.
Yeah.
But there are a few things where I'm like, well, hang on, this is just a bit shit.
Go on then. Let's get into the nitty gritty.
Nitty gritty. So yeah, broadly speaking, there weren't really any like big hitters there, right? Like the biggest queue was for Sonic. And like, so remember on the first day, like, so I didn't get there till the afternoon. Like Sarah was texting me saying like, oh my God, the queue for Sonic's huge, like in the morning. By the time I got there, it was fine. Like mid-afternoon, it like
Really?
I said to Matt, like we were like, oh let's just we've heard the queue's big, let's get a fucking ice cream. We'll stand in the Sonic queue. We'll get it done. Tick it off.
Yeah.
And yeah, I gave myself brain freeze trying to finish Josh. I was like, fucking hell, I've got to play Sonic in a minute.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
it was-
wild because just the last few EGXs I've been to, and obviously the last one was 2019. Like the queues for the big games were taking hours and hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that
Hasn't
wasn't the
Hasn't been played
case
for
when
UK,
I
so
went either.
I
No.
assumed
Yeah.
it'll be a 2-3 hour queue. I mean,
Yeah. So
does
there was
that
just
say more about Sonic or EGX?
well, this is it. That was. I mean, there's Call of Duty was there, but I gather it was a beta that you can play at
Yeah, there's a beta running at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was Wolong, the new that Koei Tecmo one, which
Also is out to play on PS5 at the moment.
exactly. There's already a demo available. They were the biggest queues, those three games. So yeah, so straight away it was like, okay, this feels weird. There was just like a general lack of spectacle of the whole thing, and obviously me and the things I like, I'm always like, fuck that, it's all about the indie stuff. Actually, I was surprised how much I missed the just massive booths, right, with stuff going on. Like there was a Street Fighter 6 bit there, and it was literally just a cordoned off area with some units with screens on and people playing Street Fighter. There wasn't even like a big sign or anything. It was just a pull-up banner, like an EGX pull-up banner with Street Fighter 6 written on it.
Was there a massive queue for that? I imagine it must.
Not really. It was all right. So again, that was fine. I didn't play it because I'm not equipped to assess it anyway. And yeah, there was just, I don't know, it all just felt a bit flat. And again, as I say, I think like a lot of this is just that post-COVID. I say post-COVID, and I want to say post-Cyberpunk as well. I think there is this real reticence to do like gameplay demos and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
even all the sessions. Like there was a full program like every day. There was stuff going on. There was like multiple stages and stuff. But there were very few like, oh, here is a cool demo of a big upcoming game. There was none of that. It was all like careers stuff, how to get a job, working on your portfolio, how to maximize the value of your content, etc., etc. I'm not slagging that stuff off, but obviously I've already mastered all that, so I don't really need it. But it was just it was like, so careers
I've always
focused.
Thought that about the shows that have gone there, because it's I just think, oh no, get some fun shows on rather than lectures,
right? And there was a few.
Everyone wants to do a keynote, but
like VG 24/7 did like a live show, but yeah, there wasn't much. Like Inside Xbox did stuff. They did like the Ox Ventures thing, but like you were looking at, and again, this might not be EGX's fault necessarily, but like you're looking at the program for the events, and some of them will just be like the name of the event and then no further details. And like I was talking to Sarah about it, and she was saying, it's probably there was like a portal that all the exhibitors were supposed to add information to, right?
Yeah.
But clearly no one's chased them to do that. And oh look, no one's turning up to the talks, right? I was walking around and like talks were going on that could have been really interesting, and there was 2 or 3 people watching them. Having like walked past a sign saying like, please queue from here. Like no one was queuing for those. Everyone just wandered in and out, sat down, whatever.
I don't particularly like the XL as a venue.
No,
it feels very, very stale, and I think that probably adds to the very high ceilings and very, I still think my favourite venue. Well, I think Tobacco Docks was brilliant, but obviously it's too big for Tobacco Docks.
Mm-hmm.
But also, do you remember that one, Matt? It was over several different tiers. I can't remember where it was. But
which one was that? Because I was thinking this.
Where all I remember is that it had heavy rain in the basement. That's the only thing that I remember.
Where it fucking belongs.
All the machines were melting.
Yeah, like I was thinking, like there was one. I don't think
the old XL. I don't know.
It could be, or was it wasn't? No, it wasn't Earl's Court, was it? But like one of them, like I don't know, it adds so much when there's like a second floor where you can see down onto the ground.
Yeah,
floor.
Earl's Court was better, I think.
Yeah.
But like,
could have been Earl's Court, actually. It could have been Earl's Court.
So what was the feeling like? What was the I mean, you were saying you were getting angry at kids or whatever, running around or whatever. But
this is it. Yeah, it's like obviously me and the people I spoke to were all like, "Oh yeah, this still isn't there, right? It's still there's stuff missing. There's not there's not loads to play. You could pretty comfortably tick everything off in one day,
Yeah.
But then I am surrounded by thousands of people who appear to be having a perfectly good time. That said, so on the Friday it was like, oh shit, this is quite a lot busier. There was like school groups and stuff. But then again, by sort of 3-4 o'clock, it was like, oh yeah, everyone's leaving now, and this is open till 6. Like everyone's basically done.
Wow.
The one that I thought was really sad. Do you remember the Left Field collection?
Yeah. Although that's that. I think there was a golden era for the Left Field collection.
And it's fucking hell, it's gone. And again, you know me, I love this stuff. But honestly, it was just really sad to see this year. There was like, so for those who haven't seen, you
play a game with a broom. Like why? I don't know. This one is a game where you put your mouse on your head and play it like that. Why? Oh, there's a game in it. Should we play it?
Again, this isn't a comment on any of the games that were there. Again, there was quite a few that were already out.
Right.
But it's like, for me, that area is like, say, there was this golden era where it was like, I would hang around there for like the 3-4 days I was there, and when people like text me, all right, I've just arrived, where are you? But like, mate, come to the Left Field collection. You got to play fucking.
You got to try this, yeah.
Tenuani teams, like all these like stupid, weird, funny games.
Yeah. Because it was always in the indie zone as well, which you'd be like, you go into that Left Field collection, which was like this little tunnel of weirdness, but then you'd also have all these little games around. The last time that area felt that good was the What the Golf year. Do you remember we played What the Golf? There was a bunch of other games in that area, and we were like, holy shit, there's loads to play here.
And like say all those titles that you say to everyone, like, look, go and play this. Like, there'll be no fucking queue. Just go. Like, you'll love it.
Yeah.
There was just nothing like that.
Yeah, it was like that last year, Sean. We walked
Yeah.
through I said to Harry, "You'll love the left field stuff.
Uh-huh.
It's great."
Yeah.
And we went there, and it was like, it's a game where you stand and you clap. And he was like, "Why are we doing this, Dad?" I was like, "I don't know. Let's go back and play. Let's go play Fall Guys again."
And like there was one I forget what it was called, but it was an educational game about soil, right? Which
You told me that wasn't that good, Sean.
no, well, this is it. It's another one of those that I'm like, I'll play 2 minutes of it, and I'm like, I'm at an expo. I'm not here to learn about soil. Like, it's probably really good.
I don't think it is.
And then there was another one. So I was like, 2 minutes. I was like, oh, this seems cool, but not now. Headphones off. Of course, the dev stood behind me, isn't he? He's like, thanks for playing. I was like, oh, no,
I hate it.
no.
I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Right, here's what I think you should do. You walk into an EGX thing, and they say, "Do you want to talk to devs that are here?" And you can get a red band or a blue band.
Yeah.
And if you got a red band, it just means please don't come up to me. I don't want to.
talk to me.
I know it sounds awful because it's really important for devs to talk to you, interview you, see what you think. But that's literally put me off of playing your game.
Yep.
Because I just.
If
there's a little questionnaire that you can fill out and put into a little box at the end of it, I like this bit, I didn't like that bit, I'd fill that out every time.
Yeah,
I don't want to stand in front of you and say, mate, I didn't fucking get it.
For real, soil.
Yeah, I want to go and stand in front of those people and go, you don't need to make a game about everything. There's some things you don't have to make, soil being one of them.
Because there was one where, I saw the game, it looked up. This wasn't in the left field bit, this was in like the general resed bit. And I was like, oh, that looks cool. Started walking towards it, realised there was a second monitor with the developer on it via Zoom or whatever, and I was like, nope, swerved that. Not doing that. Absolutely no chance. So the other thing about the left field collection, no chairs. So you had to fucking nowhere to sit. So there's all these PCs at like desk height, and you've either got to crouch or stand and break your back.
Why?
Exactly. And it was just clear that like not many of the actual developers were there, right? Because normally, they do this fun thing where like each game there's no one's got any like marketing materials, right? So the developers might like draw stuff on the walls and and it's literally everyone was just like name of the game scribbled on the wall. That was it. By day 2, half of them had fucking crashed and no one was looking after it.
No dear.
It was just just sad. It was just really sad to see. Like how that's fun. Like when you're just like, I would rather you hadn't done this. Like and that's a horrible thing to say.
It is really bad.
But yeah, moving on to like the resed bit, which as I say, for me was always like the point, and now it's like no, this is like the only thing that's here now. Like, which is ironic considering they've binned resed, right? And now we're supposed to getting EGX Birmingham, which I notice every mention of that's fucking vanished from the EGX website.
Good.
So
they went to Birmingham.
Yeah, that's looking dicey, I would say. Like I did play some cool stuff.
Go on then. What did you play? Let's get to the games.
Yeah,
let's get to the games, Sean. Fuck all of that. Let's get to the games.
I played a bit of Shadows of Doubt, which is this sort of voxel-based, like procedurally generated detective game, where you literally like when you start a game and it's like, right, what's your name? What's your partner's name? Not your real partner's name, obviously, just make it up. And it's like choose their genders and stuff, and then it's, right, and you go.
I've seen this game.
Yeah.
I think we must have got some emails about it because I really recognise the logo and the visuals.
And it's obviously, so you're starting the game and it's like the loading bars appearing. It's like, right, generating world, generating like past events, and you're like, okay, this might be interesting. Unfortunately, so basically, you start off and you're going around your flat, and it's like basically the tutorial. Here's how you interact with things, and then you get a mysterious lead to follow on like a case, right? And then like travelled to this other apartment block, and a woman in a stairwell started fighting me, and I died. But
That's
yeah,
realistic.
played enough to played enough to just be like, yeah, I'm intrigued by this. So one to keep an eye on. I think still clearly like early in development,
Yeah.
a
What's
bit
that game
ropey,
called
but
again? Sorry, Sean.
you're sorry.
What's that game called again?
That was
Shadows of
called
Doubt.
Shadows of Doubt.
Yeah, it's got a very blocky look to it, sort of
Yes, it's
slightly
voxel based. It's
Minecraft.
very
Yeah.
yeah. I also played Planet of Lana. The one we've seen a few trailers of it now, and it looks like Limbo or Inside, but not miserable, which is a hell of a pitch as far as I'm concerned. Played like a 10-minute demo of that. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it looks stunning.
Yeah, it's really lovely. Just moving from like puzzle to puzzle basically, and they're all just these sort of environmental puzzles. So you've got this little pet with you, and there's things he can like trigger or stand on or whatever, then provide you a way forward. But then you've got to figure out how to bring him along with you.
Right.
Really pleasant. Loved it. I played a bit of the Siege and the Sand Fox.
Oh, we all just my heart beats every time you're about to name a game. There's one that I'm very much looking forward to. Go on.
He's totally teasing us, isn't he?
Yeah,
sorry,
Siege and
saving the best for last.
Yeah.
Siege and the Sand
Sonic,
Fox.
the nice runner
Siege.
game. Is that Sonic and the Sea of the Sand? God.
Siege and the Sand Fox. Just really beautiful 2D platformer that's very it feels a lot like a 2D. I mean, this is going to sound ridiculous. A 2D version of the first 3D Prince of Persia. Sorry, not the first 3D Prince of Persia. The Sands of Time. In that it's I don't know if there is combat in it. Oh yeah, no, there must be. I did find some enemies and then the game crashed, but forget that. Just the movement was just really enjoyable in that it's you sort of gracefully running and jumping around, wall running, sliding on things, blah blah blah. But there's a bit of weight to it, right? But it's like a satisfying bit of weight to it. You've got to sort of look at a screen and sort of just spend half a second thinking, right, here's how I'm gonna do it. So I really enjoyed that. But then it did crash, as I say.
Did you do that thing where you just go, was there someone there to fix it, or were you
the dev was right there, and it was like the end of the day. And he was like, "Oh no, I'm really sorry." I said, "Look, honestly, mate, I know you were closing in like 10 minutes. Don't worry about it. But I really enjoyed it." Another one I played is the VR one.
The keyboard over his knee.
It's like physically assaulting him.
Just started crying.
Punch the PC.
I also played Color Connect, which is a VR
Siege
one.
in the Sand fucked. I'm gonna call this now from now on because you've broken it. You've broken it, and the Sean fucked. Yeah, go on.
Color Connect is a quest game. Really enjoyed this one. It's just it was. I had a really nice chat with the devs, and it's kind of like you were saying earlier, Dave, about this thing with VR is always these really intense, often horror experiences and stuff.
Why is that the main thing in VR? It does my nut in.
Exactly. And I saw the game and I thought, I was waiting for my turn, got chatting with the devs, and I was saying I've been really enjoying playing puzzling places again recently, and cubism and stuff. I've been really pleasantly surprised how VR is an interesting way to do slow pace, nice puzzle games and stuff. And this was one of those. It's you've probably played games like it before, and that basically you've got a series of lines and points and stuff, and then you've got might be sort of 2, 3, 4 different colours that all start at a certain point and have to end at a certain point, and you have to find a route for each one that hits every. You have to hit every single point eventually, but they can't intersect. They can't cross over each other.
Yeah.
And it was I did sort of 2 the levels are sort of grouped into different worlds, and I did a couple of them. And it was just this really nice arc from kind of looking at it and just sort of being able to do it sort of quite intuitively, to then having to be no, hang on, I need to stop and think about this and do it, sort of move each colour sort of one by one and be right, what does this block off? There's only one route for pink, so then blue can go here. And blah, blah, blah. Yeah, loved it. And that is currently free apparently on I can't remember if it's on SideQuest or if it's on the the lab.
There's a couple of ideas for you VR developers out there, right? That don't put your horror stuff, where things are jumping at your face. I want 2 games. I want the Cube VR. I want the Cube VR. That's got to happen. Imagine being in the Cube.
That'd be sound.
VR. I also want a sort of a Krypton Factor style competitive game that I can play against a mate
Oh my
where
god.
randomly, or could you imagine a
Yeah.
5-player game? You're all sitting around a table and a
Yeah.
puzzle pops up from the table,
Uh-huh.
and it's the first one to complete it first
Yeah,
wins.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And you're
come
looking at everyone else being like, oh, fuck.
yeah,
fuck.
you're like, what's he done there? There's a puzzle. There's like 5 puzzles that you got to do in a row, and the first one to finish, like you get a point for finishing each puzzle in the quickest time, and then an overall time, and then at the end you look in the middle of the table. It's like there's the standings. Come on, Matt. Are you looking for ideas for?
Yeah, you can
pitch it.
email that to me. I'll send it to. the
Oh
right
god,
person.
that's just
I'm
reminded
going to
me.
do that tomorrow. I'm going to do that. I'm going to email you that.
That's just reminded me. Sorry. Oh, there was an excruciating thing. I don't think this will ever get back to the guy, but if it does, I'm sorry. We watched a talk with a guy from Remedy,
Yeah.
and it got to the point where it was like, right, any questions from the audience? And this guy was like, oh yeah, I'm not in the games industry in any way, but I've got loads of really good ideas. Like, is there any way, how can I pitch my game ideas to you? And because I was sat next to Sarah, and straight away she was like shaking her head.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, and the guy from Remedy had to be like, no, absolutely, please never do that, because
Oh, what? Why
no,
would
it's
you
a
do
legal
that?
nightmare. Like, because if you pitch a game to someone and then 5 years later they release something, it's like, hang on a minute, that's a bit like what I pitched.
Oh,
It's
okay,
a fucking
but-
disaster. So you
but-
can't ever do that.
Yeah, you got to.
Oh, right, okay.
contractual.
Matt, I'm still going to do it. Tomorrow, I'm going to just write you a long
What if
email.
we release the game in 5 years' time, Dave?
It's Sean. Imagine that, though, right? Imagine that. I pitch that game and Matt fires it on for a laugh,
Mhm.
and then it becomes like the biggest VR game ever made, and Matt's got to work in PR for my video game. Could you imagine that? He's got to market my game.
Would the name of the game have like David Turner's whatever?
Yeah.
On it? Like,
100%. David Turner's quiz conundrum competition. And then
yeah, but then
Matt's
I'd be like, hang on a minute, I gave him the idea of doing quizzes. That's my thing.
The work on the brand.
it's going to be Matt Murray's one. Come on, that is a fucking good idea
Mine
for a
never got
game, right?
before now.
That's the best idea for a game
No,
I've
it's
ever had.
very
going
good
to be
idea.
called Matt Murray's David Turner's Quiz Conundrum.
No, my
Starring
name's got to go
Sean
first.
Bell.
Come on. And also James Farley is in the game.
James Bond
Special guest appearance. Anyway, I played the new Sonic the Hedgehog game, lads.
Yeah,
We
come
got
on.
there.
I
It's
played
the
it.
best game ever
I
made.
played it.
Right, okay,
Well,
just before you go into opinions,
Yep.
how big was the demo?
So it was time limited.
20
so
hours?
it was. I think it was only like 10, 15 minutes tops.
Right,
It was
okay.
pretty
That's good.
short.
That's a good chunk.
And I'll tell you, when the time ran out, my reaction was like, "Oh,
It's the best
Shit.
game ever.
I could have played more of this."
Yes, this is gonna be the best.
it's-
It's gonna be gossy. This is right. This is my viewpoint on this game. It's gonna be shit. It's gonna be shit. But I really, really hope it's the best game ever made. I really
But
hope
this is the thing, right? And it's neither, right? It's what I played. I was
Right.
like, do you know what? I was pleasantly surprised, but not blown away, Chris Pratt style. I was like, do you know what? I enjoyed that well enough. Am I going to rush out and buy it? No.
Why?
If Isaac if Isaac's like, because he's sort of into Sonic, not really, but if he like asked me to get it, yeah, fine. It's
my
really
God.
weird. So obviously that the structure of it is that you got like the overworld, and then you go into these like cyber zone bits, which actually look like a Sonic game.
Yeah.
And like, fuck me, once you've done one of those and you go back to the overworld, you're just like, why is it so grey? Like, it's miserable.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it?
Like, so
But is there a story reason for that, or is it just grey?
it's
Is it like
it
you're
is
bringing
just
colour to the world, or
I mean,
No,
unlocking
it's
it?
just
you-
bleak.
but the thing, it's interesting you say that, but really, just change the story then if you want some more colour.
well, yeah, they get to write their own
Yeah.
stories and do whatever they want.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just very weird. Like, you do these like amazing cyberspace, say amazing, fun cyberspace bits that look cool. They look like a Sonic, a traditional Sonic game made 3D. And then you're just like, oh, now I'm in fucking Death Stranding again. Like, it's that, like, that's the how jarring it is. It's like desaturated. It's raining.
Yeah.
But it's weird. Like they lean into that, right? It's not it's not an accident. Like the music's kind of sad and like quite good.
It's so good. I
And
love
like
that
you
shit.
sort of you wander into like boss fights and stuff, right? It's I'm not saying it's Elden Ring, but it's a bit like Elden Ring.
Oh my.
Oh,
So you're wandering around, and then it's like, oh fuck, a big robot has just like emerged, and then
Oh,
like,
really?
and
So
then the
it is
music
going for
starts like ramping up, and you're like, oh shit, like this is, and it's telling you, like here, like you're dodging attacks and stuff, waiting for openings and what have you. Yeah, and I was like, I'm sort of into this.
Lottie.
Tarnished Sonic.
It's
Welcome.
When's this out?
this
October?
year, isn't it? Is it December?
Oh my god, it's out this year.
Yeah.
Oh, I
November.
need this game. I'm so excited. I really hope that all the tens cut just to see James's face. That's it.
Yeah, so
That's
it's out 8th
it.
of November. 8th of November.
Okay.
Oh, birthday, just day after our birthday.
Perfect.
Oh my god.
Birthday.
Well, me and James's, you know.
Yeah, no, just made me laugh. It was all right.
What was the vibe from other people playing it? Did you get a sense there, like, was there any sense of excitement around other people playing it, or was it like playing it that lit walk off?
I mean, obviously,
events you heard.
So like Warner that I was hanging around with, he said like the overworld. He was like, why it feels like Nier, like what's going? But even he said he found it compelling. Like he was like keen to play more of it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a 10, but
No.
Why not?
An 8 would be good for Sonic.
Why not?
So we'll,
Why is it not going to be a 10? You're supposed to be the biggest fan of Sega, aren't you?
just saying it's not
Exactly,
gonna be a
he's a
10.
purist.
I mean, it would be incredible. I want nothing more. That would be unbelievable to, change the gaming landscape. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? It's a 10. Sonic's a 10. What? That would be unbelievable. But
I mean, saying like, oh yeah, like, the overworld's like actually surprisingly moody and what have you. Like, I'm assuming the story will be absolutely fucking ridiculous, right? If they try and make like an actual sad story in a Sonic game, it's going to be like, oh come on, it'll be ridiculous.
Yeah,
I really hope they do it. I really hope they go full in, and like one of his shitty little mates from the Sonic games dies,
Actually
and there's a
dies, yeah.
funeral. There's an actual funeral, and Sonic
Oh, God, if-
buries
go
the person by doing the spin next to the grave, and all the
Yeah.
dirt
Yeah.
that it
Yeah.
goes
That's
into.
like,
Yeah.
Well, imagine if like the twist was like, on the Sonic games, you break a badnik, a robot, and like the little animal pops out. What if it turns out that like the animals don't survive that, right?
Well, they all instantly get eaten
Yeah,
by
you just, like-
wolves.
Oh no, I mean like you go around smashing robots, and you're like, oh, there's a load of like little dead birds. Down the road.
They'll just flop out of the machine.
Yeah, just like fall lifeless to the ground. Yeah, Sonic Frontiers.
It sounds all right, man.
It was.
Shit.
It was. I mean, maybe the time limit on the demo was perfect in the sense that it left me wanting a bit more. Whereas
But
actually,
maybe it was it was like,
maybe
and
it's all
you
as
actually
good.
buy
Is
it,
it? But
and
maybe
it's
if I
just kinda
played half an
Elden
hour,
Ring.
maybe if I played half an hour, I'd have been like, oh, actually, no, it's not.
Nah, but maybe if you played half an hour and just went, this is game of the year. This is game of the year.
I mean, like all joking aside, like that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
To just be like,
Would-
a fucking
I mean-
Sonic game is in the list. Like,
And we're fighting for it.
yeah.
What a turnaround that would be.
That week. So.
James would vote against it no matter what.
Yeah, of course you would.
And he'll
Yeah.
play it regardless, and then say,
let me let into a little secret. We've been talking about Sonic Frontiers and our hopes and prayers for it, but also our expectations in our WhatsApp group. And let's just say James mentioned Balan Wonderworld alongside it this week. So
Which is not fair because
does that a lot.
absolutely not fair.
what's that got to do
Does that a
with
lot.
Outrageous.
whoever's making Sonic now?
Outrageous from James Farley. Okay, is that it? Is that what you played at EGX?
Yeah.
Before we get onto like, obviously the big release this week is Return to Monkey Island. Matt's been playing that. We'll get to that. I've very briefly played Hardspace Shipbreaker.
Okay. Go on.
I'm like, no, don't worry.
No, I know. I wasn't. That wasn't me going like, oh fuck, he's going to be negative. But it's a slow burn to begin with. So
Well, it's gonna take a while. Like I'm maybe towards the end of the first mission, so that's
Okay.
how far in I am. I just have questions for you more than anything
Okay.
because. So, firstly, I think it's important to note because Sean's spoken about this game before.
Hmm.
I just want to reiterate that the idea behind the game is that, or at least at the early part of the game, is that you've got some tools to break down a spaceship. That's it, right?
Hmm.
So you're breaking down a spaceship into smaller parts and then organizing those parts into the correct sort of bays to put them
Yeah.
in. Essentially,
Hmm.
there's a little bit more. It's a little bit more interesting than that, but
Yeah.
that's essentially what you're doing. You're breaking down a spaceship and putting things in the right place. And the challenge comes in the fact that you're floating in space while doing this.
Mm.
So controlling bits of a spaceship is the one thing and that stopped me playing more of it and has made me want to talk to you about it before I continue
Mhm.
is that I am not understanding the feedback of what the game wants me to do. And what I mean by that is that first thing, like, it was mind blowing the first time because I was like, it teaches you, you do the tutorial, and it's like, these are carbon materials. They
Yeah.
go in this thing here. This is how you cut these panels up and you can spread them out. And, you know, they're unmanageable at this weight.
Yeah.
So you need to break them down and put them here. And you're like, okay, this is all really cool.
Mhm.
And then the first mission, you're like, no, here's now a massive spaceship, and you can't just move things. You've got to get inside the spaceship and cut it in certain ways. The thing that's confusing me at the moment that I wanted to ask you about, top left hand the screen, you're getting constant feedback text, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything I'm doing, it's like I can't remember if it's a frowny face or a thumbs down, but it comes up in red text as if to go,
Oh, yeah,
wah,
yeah.
wah, what the fuck are you doing? And
So
I'm like,
that's usually if you're chucking
on.
stuff in for like one of the big, so like the blue one and the red one, which as you say for like polycarbonates and metals.
yeah,
But they usually there'll be like lights attached to them and stuff. To the
Right.
bits you put in it. So basically don't worry about it too much. If you're being super picky, you can take off every single light fitting, every single sofa.
Oh my!
Whatever.
Right, okay. So there's
Yeah.
two things, right? Firstly, I don't think it's that because it wasn't happening when I was putting it in the bay or when it
Right.
was being accepted, right?
Okay.
But that's interesting to know that you actually need to strip it down a little bit more. This was when I was just cutting inside
Oh,
the spaceship.
sorry. Yes. So sometimes, basically, sometimes the process of cutting just destroys some of the material. So it's just telling you there is a cost to that, basically. And
Right.
and it's sort of.
Can you turn it off? Because I had this horrible thing where I was going
Yeah.
into the fucking spaceship and I was thinking, this is really nice, actually. You know, I'm struggling with floating about in space. I like that. I'm finding bits to cut and to break things down. And it's really cool. I'm cutting this bit, and then the panel floats off because it's not connected to the main ship anymore. And then I was cutting that down and putting it where I needed to put it. But constantly the game was going, fuck off, that's wrong.
Well, this is
You
it
fucked
because
it.
it's not that's sort of like the crux of the game, right? Because that's not the game doing that. That's your employer in the game doing that. Because the whole point is that
like
your
it.
employer is an absolute fucker, right? The
Yeah,
company
yeah,
you work
yeah.
for. I mean, you've seen the intro, right? It's
Yeah,
pretty-
gotcha.
does
I
not
mean,
pull any
it
punches.
really does smash you in the
Yeah.
face.
And it's so like over time the narrative of the game is about unionization, right, and workers' rights. So part of what that is like your employer is bollocking you and saying like you're wasting precious materials here and you're being fined more than like the actual value of those materials, right? So if it's like a light fitting, it's like, well, you get whatever it is, $500 for salvaging it, but you'll be fined $2,000 for accidentally wasting it, right?
Yeah.
And again, that is basically. I understand what you're saying. It does sort of spoil the tone of it, but that's kind of the point. And it's because
But
it's
does it-
about this.
yeah.
It's about this sort of this clash of like, oh, I do actually enjoy doing this. It's just that there are elements of the circumstances under which I'm being made to do it that kind of spoil it, right?
Okay.
And that's partly why I find it so interesting. Like I enjoyed it in early access well enough when it was just, oh yeah, you're breaking down ships. Like that was fun enough in and of itself. But then as it sort of reached, version 1.0, it became this really interesting story about, as I say, this clash between like, well, I know the conditions I work in are poor, but I do but does that mean I'm wrong to enjoy doing my job? And it's like, no, not at all. Like you should be able to have both. You should be able to have a job you enjoy and under conditions that are not exploitative, right? So yeah, that's why I sort of really came to like love it as much as I do.
Yeah, all you needed to say and what you did say was don't worry about it, because I'm just going to ignore it now, because going into it and not knowing that context, despite knowing some of the context, it really does look like the game's going, no, you're doing this all wrong. And I'm sitting there going, but I don't. What? How? What am I doing wrong?
Yeah, basically, because you'll notice, so there's the big bar across the top of the screen, which is like how much you've salvaged, how much has been wasted.
Yeah, that's right.
And there's like key points on that.
That's
so basically, you'll notice that like 0.5 is still a way off 100%, right?
Yeah.
In other words, so that's like your final threshold. If you've reached that, fuck it. Like you've done basically everything anyone could reasonably expect you to do. Like you never salvage 100% of everything.
Yeah.
So there's some leeway there basically.
Right. I will play it again.
Yeah.
Problem is, FIFA's out this week, and that's going to take over my life for a little bit. But no, it will be played again, because I could see the enjoyment of just picking apart it's one of those things, like you see a big job and it's going to take a while to get done, but it's quite enjoyable picking something apart and
just knowing, having an idea of where to start.
Yeah.
And then
and
like, because the ships just get more
them.
and more complex as well. Like, did you see the video I posted the other day?
No.
Of just basically it's just me doing like one of the engines for one of the later ships, or like what they call the Atlas class ones.
Oh right.
Where it's like, so initially just like, oh, this is one of the ship's engines. You just pull it off and you chuck it in the bay at the bottom, right? But then later on, it's like, no, there's like fuel pipes going through it, right? So you have to like take off all these like connectors at the back, take off this sort of cover, and then in order to actually get the valve that like cuts off the fuel that runs throughout the length of this engine, you have to like cut into the pipes and set them on fire, right? And then like boost past them down through this massive tube, and then find this switch at the bottom before the fire reaches the fuel tanks at the front.
Okay.
And again, it's these little moments of like, oh, it's fucked up that this is part of my job. Right, in this game, and that's stuff like that is great.
I'll go back to it at some point for sure. I certainly liked what I was doing. I didn't like the feedback I was getting from it, but if I'm knowing that that's part of a story, then I'm fine with it. I can just ignore that shit, really. Okay.
I mean, obviously I could talk about it forever, but I think it's be a good one to shelve for a fuller discussion. I think James will really
when more
like
of us have played it.
James
has been playing it, has he?
I don't know if he has, but I think he would like it. So are you intrigued, Matt, or are you?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. I mean, not only the stuff you said previously, but just it feels like it links on with a lot of the. It's not cyberpunk, but it kind of feels like there's some combination between the kinds of stories. And
I would definitely, I'd definitely play it for at least the opening half an hour, because it's hilarious how much you can fuck up in various different hilarious ways when you're first trying to get used to the controls and stuff.
This is it, like, because Isaac's been watching me play it and quite enjoying it, and then he's like, "Oh, can I have a go?" And I'm just like, "Oh no,
way too complicated.
Die in seconds, like you just fall to earth and then start having nightmares."
Oh look, I'll grapple that thing over to here. Oh no, it smashed me in the face, and now I'm flying towards a furnace.
Have you done the thing of like, because you have like limited like fuel in your fucking jetpack, right?
I didn't know that.
So eventually, like you'll twig like, oh, I can like grapple onto stuff in the distance and just pull myself towards it. And like the first time I did it, I was just like, fucking die, like just
I've done that.
myself on the side.
I've done that where I've grappled tight towards a spaceship or whatever. To just the funniest was when there was a little shard and I tried to grapple it to me, so I could. It just went through my helmet. I was like, great, brilliant, I'm dead now.
Yeah.
That was how I died the first time. I was like, oh, right, okay.
When did that game first come out, Sean? Was it this year, or was it been out? Because it feels like it's been out for ages.
Yeah, so early access was 2 years ago.
It doesn't qualify. What a shame.
Yeah, it does. Officially came
out
this year. Yeah.
Well, I'm joking. I don't think you were, but I was joking. I'm joking. Give it that.
That was just why I wanted to check, because it does look really good. I think I've already got it pre-installed, so or had it pre-installed. So yeah, I'm excited to give it a go at some point.
Yeah, and so for anyone listening at home, so this has just landed on console, which is the reason it's coming up again. So like if you've been wanting to play it on your Xbox, you can.
Isbows. Matt, you've been playing Return to Monkey Island. Right, can I just ask that about this game?
Yeah.
It's all new adventure, right?
Yeah.
But there was Monkey Island,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was Escape from Monkey Island,
There's been loads. I forget the fucking
and then
titles
but there
even
has
now.
been a Return to Monkey Island, right?
I don't know about that. All I do know is that this picks up immediately after Monkey Island 2.
Yeah.
Which is Escape from Monkey Island, is
No,
it?
Do you know what? I'm just going to check because it's going to annoy me because I can't remember
I need
either.
to know the
Monkey
series.
Island 2 is
'Cause-
Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge. And then there's Curse, which is like the third one that no one seemed to really like. It changed the art.
Oh, no.
That's not my-
The Curse of is well thought of. It's after that
okay.
that they went off the rails a bit. I think
I've seen-
three definitely changed the art style a lot. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, but
Not
one,
everyone
two-
was wild about it, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
This is a brand new game, out PC and Switch only at the moment, and it follows on from the story.
I was tempted, but then I saw it was 25 quid. I was like, oh, maybe next month.
Follows on from the story of Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge. Not technically a sequel, but it just follows on story wise. So, anyway, I'm really mixed on this.
No.
So again, I loved the third one when I was young, but it's been a million years. I haven't played any others. Didn't play the first two before that. Didn't play any others after that. Don't remember an awful lot, but I've had fond memories of playing it with my sister when when I was younger. There's a lot I like about this, but
Okay. Look, well, before you go into that, let's get your history. So,
gave it.
in terms of point and click adventures, how into them were you?
I played a little bit of Day of the Tentacle, bit of Grim Fandango. Played, like I said, like the third one of this.
Right.
Played The Room.
So you,
we're laughing, but there is shared DNA there, right?
100%. Yeah. In terms of point and click adventures, you wouldn't call yourself like a massive fan of them, but you've played a fair few.
I mean, the ones I played, I've enjoyed. I wouldn't say I wouldn't list it on my profile. I'm a fan of them per se, but I've enjoyed the ones I played.
Right.
I've also finished this.
Okay.
Wow.
It's not a long game. It's like 11, 12 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, not a long game. Which is interesting actually, because I saw some people so this came out on was it Thursday? I think it was Thursday. And I saw some people saying we only got review code yesterday, and this is unbelievable. How can we expect to review a 40-hour game? But then I saw a review on Friday saying it's an 11-hour game. So don't know what happened there. Anyway, it's not a terribly long game.
Did you have to use a guide at any point, or
No,
was it pretty?
it's got a very good hint system in game.
Oh, nice.
Which is really nice.
I like the way you said that. It's got a very good hint system in game.
Yeah, the hint is really good. So we'll come to other aspects of the game, but basically you get a book which is the hints, and in that are things that you have a to-do list that's separate, but the hints basically say here's things that you probably need to do, and you can basically ask various questions, and it'll go from incredibly vague saying you should probably go there, or what happens if you do this, to explicit right at the end saying do that, go this. So depending on how much information, how much help you really want, it's there for you. I think overall, one kind of thing that's lacking in this game is that there's no, it doesn't go incredibly hard. I think it's got a really nice level of difficulty. I've seen some people on say roll muck say it's so easy that it kind of ruins it.
Fine. I hate hard point and clicks.
I think it's good, and also I think I use the hints a bunch of times, and I was like, oh yeah, I should go over there. Sometimes it's just a check. I think the answer is clearly this, that, and the other, but I'm like, how do we even get to that point and just do this? And so the hint system was really good because depending on how much you want help on, it will give that to you. Story wise, it's kind of the same old. You're trying to get to and find out the secret of Monkey Island. Nothing there too crazy. But basically, I liked. So I will say the art style I think is gorgeous, and actually I looked into it, and it's the same person who did Nights on Bikes, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
and also Tearaway. I think it's great.
Mm.
It's almost like Ren and Stimpy and SpongeBob at points. You know, the way it kind of zooms in on certain aspects. Like in very, very early on, you're trying to get a scurvy dog, and it basically zooms in. You see like little bits, like hairs on it and stuff, like the kind of stuff you see in SpongeBob or.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It doesn't actually do it enough. I wish it did that more. It does do it at points, but
Very expensive to do that sort of stuff, man.
yeah,
There's
I
a
want
lot of money involved.
gross. So yeah, music is absolutely beautiful. I know like the original composers came back on the first night I got it. I like booted off my Switch and I was just suddenly on Twitter or Instagram or doing something else, and I had the music was just playing for like 20 minutes in the background, like the same loop. It's absolutely gorgeous theme music, and since after having finished it, still got some of the tunes going around in my mind. So it does all that stuff absolutely perfectly well. But I finished it and the ending is bad.
Really?
And the ending is so bad, it kind of made me reflect and kind of tainted my experience somewhat. I was enjoying
As in, like, what, like, just unsatisfying because there's going to be another one, or just awful? Like,
I'm not going to say.
Okay.
It's just like, I don't know. I just felt disappointed at the end. But I can't wait to hear what other people think. I mean, I don't think I'll be alone, but who knows? Maybe I'm alone on that. But I enjoyed it throughout. It wasn't spectacular. It wasn't like, oh, it's like a game of the year contender or anything like that. It was thoroughly pleasant to be back in this world. Puzzles are nice. Came out a nice lick. The writing was fine. Not as funny as I remember. My time with the third one at least. And I was under the impression these were like really, really funny, laugh out loud like games. Not really the case for me. There was like
Well, no, I mean, it's funny, isn't it? Point and click adventures, you get people going, they're so funny, and they don't need to be funny. Like, I mean,
no,
you look at the ones that I've really enjoyed, like the Discworld ones. Sam and Max, from what I played of that. I'm not sitting there going, fucking hell.
Yeah.
But you're sitting there just pleasantly chuckling,
This is it. 'Cause
internally chuckling.
Yeah,
along,
like the length of a video game. Yeah, like you couldn't survive like fucking 10 hours of like actually splitting your sides laughing, could you?
No.
It would just you couldn't maintain that.
Too much with it.
And I don't expect that. And the writing throughout was excellent. It was constantly entertaining, and I was always interested in it. Everyone I would talk to, because it's just really nicely written that you want to hear what happens next. You want to hear what people are saying, and there's some great characters you meet along the way, and all that was good. But even throughout the bits, I was like enjoying it. I wasn't like, this is absolutely a stunning return. It was good and pleasant and lovely to be back in that world. And then the ending came, I was like, okay. But it's got some nice other points. You pick up these like trivia cards as you explore the game, and you pick up a trivia card, and on it will have like a multiple choice question. It's basically like a sticker album you get in game. Multiple choice question about something you've either seen, or maybe something about another location, or even just some history about the series in general. Get that right, it stays in your album. Get it wrong, you lose that card. You have to find that card and other cards again. I thought that was really nice. Every time I found one of them, I was like, oh, what's the question going to be? And I got a few wrong, and I still had like a few by the end which I hadn't even like answered, because I thought I'd like get to a location to help me with the answer. Thought that was really good. And but yeah, I don't know, I came away feeling just disappointed because of the ending. But even before that, fine. It was fine. I mean, I guess if I'd review it, it'll be like a 6 or 7. It was fine, but the ending kind of
6 or 7.
Yeah, I think it does so much right. Just never fully went to the levels.
That's a shame. You put me off. I was thinking maybe pick this up, but then maybe not.
I mean, I'm still gonna get
up to that point.
Oh God. Yeah, a 6. A 6 or 7 is supposed to be above average, but a mat 6 or 7. Might as well not fucking bother.
I mean,
everything's a 10 for Matt.
I mean, like, if you've played all the others, there's gonna be a lot to get out of this. I mean, there's some obviously great references to the other games. Even the ones I haven't like played, like I was like, okay, I've got that reference, even having not played the other Monkey Island games. But I don't know if I'd recommend it. I don't know. Like, I want to talk to other people about the story, basically. So I want you two to play it, and maybe James has played it. I don't know, but I'm excited to hear what you think about the game. Maybe I'm totally wrong about this, but I would love to hear more about.
Okay.
I mean, it's
exclusive from Matt Murray.
Not that it's necessarily correct, but it's an 88 on Metacritic.
Yeah.
So I'm still intrigued. I will
6
definitely,
or 7 from Matt.
Yeah, I'll
Return
definitely
to
still check
Monkey
it out.
Island, a big pile of shit.
Yeah, it's
says Matt
fucking
Murray.
wank,
Didn't
mate.
know,
He said.
not
That's
that,
what I heard.
Thoroughly pleasant, but
What you said.
things happen.
Kind of what you said.
I mean, I really enjoyed my time over the weekend playing it because I haven't played a game like this for such a long time, and all the things I mentioned, writing, etc., great, but wasn't left like a whoa at the end.
Did you? Well, we know you didn't because you didn't mention it when we asked you which point and clicks you've played. Broken Age.
No, I never played. I think I backed on Kickstarter because that was one of the early big games.
I was going to say I had a feeling you probably have a copy of it somewhere.
Yeah.
That's really good. The second half, they released it infamously. They released it in like 2 halves. The second half, they got loads of feedback that the first half was too easy. I thought the first half was great. So there's a lot of puzzles in the second half that like just use a guide. But I really loved Broken Age. So if it's whets your appetite for something similar, I would really recommend that.
Is it out on Switch? You get Broken Age on Switch?
Yeah, probably. Put it out on everything eventually.
And I have to look at my Kickstarter account to see where I got. I'd probably Steam or Humble code for that. But yeah. Like I really like the way you. So in this, like it starts off with a bit of a prologue, and then it kind of gets into the meat of the story, and you basically you end up kind of traveling between different locations. I thought that was quite nice. Obviously, that does require some backtracking for things, but yeah, I really want you two and James to have played it, so I can.
All right.
I should add as well with Broken Age. Obviously, there's this is cheating really, but there's the whole experience of being able to watch like the massive documentary about how it was made as well. Like I really recommend like delving into the whole thing because I honestly wish that we could have that for like every game, right? Because it's a really wonderful documentary and I think a really good game as well. But the two obviously together sort of support each other as well. It's nice.
I think there's an audio mode in this game. I didn't turn it on myself, but I think it's called like Writer's Cut or something, not Director's Cut. It's I mean, and basically in there it like gives you extra context of things, and I'm not sure if it's like a commentary or just adds extra details to why it happened. But but yeah, I want other people to play it really.
And that is what we've been playing this week. Should do some questions and then stop.
Yeah, go on.
So tired.
How long have we been going for?
Too long, baby.
God, I nearly had a meltdown then. In Audacity, at the bottom it says like how much disk space you've got, like how much time you've got disk space remaining for. So it's like, how long have we been? 147 hours. We have not been recording for 147 hours. If you want to send us a question, go to tcgs.co/dear TCGS, or just some emotional support. Really, we could do with it.
That's right.
Capone_Adam says Halloween is upon us. Question from Matt: are you planning to stream the rest of PT? Do you remember anything about it?
I remember being quite scared about it. I watched that video only recently. In fact, like me and Jill and Elodie all watched it, and then
are you kidding me? You're swearing all the way through it.
Yeah, we quickly had to stop. But
I was going to say, fucking hell.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just like, we're on YouTube, and I was like, oh, I think one of our videos popped up, and I was like, I'll just watch this. Let's put the PT one on. Not planning on streaming. I'm not even sure if you can get on PS5, and if you can,
of course.
I'm not being funny, Matt. There is literally no point in streaming the second half of that game. The second half of that game is stand in this bit, listen to that. When that baby cries, then move forward 2 spaces and say something on your microphone. Then it's honestly, you did all the good stuff in that game.
Yeah, so I got to the bit where there's like the weird eyes and stuff, and at that point it's already like less scary because it went.
Yeah, after that it falls. Doesn't fall apart. It's a fucking masterpiece, but. It gets into really obtuse puzzling after that, which was only put in to try and hide what it was like when it first come out. Not worth it.
Obviously the PT. I'm also not sure if I want to go back. It's like it won't be as good as if I went back a second time, frankly. So probably not. No.
Yeah, no, I was going to say because obviously sometimes like games will come up and I'm like, oh Matt, come on, that would be like a really good stream for you, but no, fuck doing PT again.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, don't do.
I
You don't
saw
need
what
to,
that
yeah.
did to you.
It was a one-time thing. Am I going to go through it again and like not be as afraid or be afraid again like the same race? Just no.
What about Five Nights at Freddy's? One of those. Do the Five Nights
No,
at Freddy's on.
don't do one of those.
I mean, that's all jump scares, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on. Do one of
something
those
nice.
one on Halloween. And I
Do
can
Broken
do
Age.
another. No.
That's
Stream
not a
Broken
Halloween
Age.
game.
Do Five Nights at Freddy's.
Terry Mulholland says, Dear TCGS, if you could go back in time and plan a James Farley stag do, what would the night include?
This is one of the saddest things I think about a lot. James not having a stag do. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
James didn't even like
Whatever.
his wedding. Never mind the stag.
No, he didn't like his wedding. I told him to renew his vows.
Yep. Yeah, we've
That-
said this
how
loads
good
of
would
times,
that
haven't
be?
we? And he
His
won't.
vows.
Yeah. He totally should.
What would
Yes.
his stag do look like? Oh, it'd be a trip down to fucking Stanford Bridge to watch Joe. I'm gonna play a blow die.
Well, so what is it? Would we do one where he hated it or something that he would absolutely love?
Well,
I
look,
feel like we should plan one you'd actually like, right?
here's the thing, right? Traditional stag do's, you don't plan it so that they hate it. It's like it's a bit of initiation. It's a bit of a whatever, but it's not. No one wants the stag to have a bad time. Like that's
but
not.
I hate all that shit. So
But I know you do, Sean. But it's not about you. It's about James Farley right about now. And no, I think James would like a more traditional stag do, but just
do you think?
not as crazy. Yeah, I do. I think James. James likes a night out.
It doesn't have to be crazy. Friday night you drink, probably a bit too much. Maybe we do like an activity in town, like flight club or whatever. Saturday proper activity, maybe go karting, maybe an escape room.
Oh,
maybe-
James would love a bit of go karting, wouldn't he?
And
He'd love an escape room
Saturday-
as well. I'm convinced he would.
Yeah, and then Saturday we book a meal somewhere, then drink, and then make our way to a club that we all like. Oh, we push some beer, but fuck it, we're drunk now. And then
Go on.
And then
What do you
and then after that, couple of museums.
Sort of,
just-
Sean, stop ruining it. Can we just not invite Sean?
Yeah, it's all right. Me and James will have our own separate one.
No, he won't want to go to yours. You go, what's the point? I'll go to the good one.
No, I'm saying no. It's just for me and James.
Yeah, I know. James would say no. It sounds
you love it.
awful. What would it be? What would you do?
No, to be honest, Matt sounded all right. I was quite happy with that. I think if you could slip in like an arcade there somewhere.
Oh my
I think
god!
that'd be cool.
Definitely, there's loads of time on a Saturday. We
Yeah.
can, slip
You
into
know
some
that-
arcade, then go drinking. We'll do, a meal out somewhere. There's loads of things we can do.
It was my nephew's birthday yesterday, and I said to my brother, "Oh, what are you doing for his birthday party?" And he went, "Well, we're not doing a birthday party. I'm just taking like him and a few of his mates to that Heart of Gaming in Croydon."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
Yeah.
"That's like a third of the price of one of the birthday parties that you'd have to pay for, and I guarantee they have a better time." Like,
I was thinking this because obviously, like I've said, Isaac's birthday's coming up. I mean, he's only 5, so it'd be too early to like take him to arcade club, right? I mean, I have taken him, but like as a party, it wouldn't really work. But in a few years, like 100%, like we're paying like fucking 250 quid for
it's ridiculous.
a party at a soft play, and it's just. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be fine, right? But it's for the money you're paying, I don't.
Oh. Harry said for Harry's birthday party last year, he said, "I just want my mates to come over and we'll play video games." And Joe was like, "Can you organise that?" So I just got like a shitload of tellies in the front room and just put up different consoles basically, and they had a blast.
No, man.
They had an absolute blast, and you can't beat it, man. Video game. I remember playing GoldenEye until like 3 a.m. in my front room. 2 TVs. They weren't even linked. We had 2 N64s and 2 games of GoldenEye going on at the same time. Oh, it's so good. That's where it's at. That's the stag do, isn't it? That's the stag do.
LAN party.
LAN party.
I mean, again, like there's plenty of like gaming bars now. You can go there.
This is it, isn't it? Yeah, like
games.
like there are so many more sociable ways to do gaming stuff now. Like
Think about TCGS Con. Playing Fall Guys in Meltdown in Sheffield was one of my away from the show stuff. That was my highlight of the weekend. It just the whole pub getting into how you were getting on Fall Guys.
Yeah.
So much fun. Then maybe we just do that. We'll do James. Here's your stag do: 5 hours of Laser Quest followed by a live show, and then Could you imagine if we got stags in for that TCGS con? Stag.
Yeah,
God, yeah,
we get the meltdown. James can play like Font Rider, crowd, whatever it's
Fucking loves
called.
that. No, maybe that's the stag. It's like, right, James, we will all sit and watch you play Typewriter, start to finish, and you can talk to us about it and why it's cool.
I wouldn't be able to do it.
And we will sincerely sit and watch the whole thing.
Wouldn't be able to do it. Would not be able to do it.
You can have a drink.
Karaoke.
I'm not saying you have to just sit there.
I'd boo.
I want to plan this. I might seriously plan this and say, James, we've planned. It may not be a stag do. We'll pretend it's a stag do and just have a stag do weekend.
Yeah, man. 100%.
Let's do it. Let's fucking do it.
That would be incredible. Yeah.
Did you remember the idea that we had? I don't know if we've mentioned this on the show, but the idea we had on about the next TCGS con.
Which one? Because we floated a few, right?
Well, this one floated is the word. Because James said that he always wanted to go on a narrow boat.
Oh, yeah.
And what we said we wanted to do, get a narrow boat, fill it with cameras, live stream for a week of us on this narrow boat, right? Live stream it on Twitch, a week of us on the narrow boat, where the destination we get to at the end of that week is a venue where we could host a live show, so that people arrive at the venue, and the way we start the live show is by us arriving on the narrow boat. And then we get off and go straight up to the as we're walking up.
After
Because
weeks
it's one
of
of
barely
those.
showering.
Because it's one of those ideas that obviously on the face of it, like, that's ridiculous. But then you start being like, well, why is it though? Why is it ridiculous?
We could totally do it.
Well, yeah.
If anyone could pull it off, Matt Murray could pull it off.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Are we done?
Yeah.
God, no.
Good. Matt, socials?
No streams this week. James is away. Sean's busy, so we'll come back for that. The week after next. But if you have Amazon Prime, you've got Twitch Prime Gaming, connect your account, you get a free sub. Appreciate everyone's done it tonight. If you haven't done it tonight, or if you're listening to this on Wednesday, please go connect your accounts and give us your free monthly sub. It means a lot to us. The Patreon is patreon.com/TCGS. We've already put out this month's bonus podcast, and also we had Le Tournoi Round 4, which is well worth a watch. And the website's tcgs.co for links to our gorgeous Discord, our social channels, Marvel Calls, Patreon, store, you name it.
He's just listing stuff now, isn't it?
I might try and... I'm not doing See Friends this week. I might try and slip in another Bell's Bedtime builds. But
I like that.
We'll see.
I like it. Get it done. Thank you so much for living it. We will catch you on the flip side. See you next week.
You will.
Bye,
We
everyone.
love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah.